And hello, hello, hello. Ooh,
Ooh, we off center.
use off center.
And which one do I need to go?
I don't know. How's that? Does that
Ooh.
help? Here we go.
There we go.
Hi, Cindy. Hola. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Of course, every time I bump this table, the whole thing's going to shake.
Well, you don't have to show them.
I'm just saying.
I know.
Just demonstrating.
Give people vertigo.
Every time I put my hands on and take them off, it's going to like do that. So, should I turn the light on above us?
I can.
Oh, well, Mark will do that then. So, hello. Hi, Shane. Mark, we're just getting situated with the lighting, trying a different angle this time. Yeah, I think that's good. And then I will turn this one up just a little bit. There we go. Hi, Greg. I thought you were split screen in 2 locations before you moved. Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? A little bit.
Oh, yeah, because the kitchen wall.
The wall.
We didn't want to do it the other direction because then it really does start to get shadowy. I mean, harsh shadows right behind us. I'm going to turn this one up.
Hola, Azul. Azul Soul. And Stephanie. Hi, guys. Hey, so happy New Year, huh? 2025, here we are.
Yes.
It's a good year so far, I think. I don't know how we could really judge it poorly just yet. Hi, Miriam. Hola.
How could it be bad? You're employed. We're in Querétaro, and we aren't moving for another almost 7 months. So,
yes.
Or 6 months, whatever it is.
Yes. So
I'm not going to complain about a thing right now.
Not at all. So I'm ready for my popcorn. Wait, let me highlight this because I can totally reveal. I totally can relate to this because as soon as some stuff's going to start, I want to get my popcorn. Got to have it.
All right.
All right. So
grab a beverage, sit back, and
he's got a beverage.
Let's go.
That's right.
First thing. First thing is thoughts and prayers to anybody who has family or is located in the Southern California area that is affected by these fires. We have somebody that we used to play fantasy football with who is in Malibu. And did you ever hear yet?
No, I didn't get a chance to check after work yet. The last thing I heard from him was posted about 3:00 this morning, and it had nothing to do with the fires. So I'm not really sure. I can't say. Oh, hey, thank you, Miriam. We appreciate that. We try just so people can see what we're doing. I'm sorry, I'm getting really bad about highlighting comments. Thank you. We do appreciate it. I think we're just a little more relaxed. It helps when you know you have money.
I think that stress level sort of just went.
Money does make things a little bit better, right? Right? Oh, hello. Hola. De viaje con Paco. Paco, we remember you, Paco.
Different Paco.
Different Paco.
He's from Washington State.
Different Paco. Well, damn, I thought it was our Paco that we knew. But
it is our Paco. He's on our channel.
I know. I'm sorry. I can't tell from the picture if you were this other Paco that we know. But thank you.
No, our Paco had a lot more hair.
No, I didn't. Anyway, gracias, Paco. Gracias. And Bruno. Hi. Hola, Bruno. I cannot talk. Hola, Bruno. So back to the fires in California. So I have not heard from our friend in Malibu since like 3:00 this morning. And the last thing he said had nothing to do with the fires.
Nope.
So I don't know about him.
Well, one way of looking at it was he was not in a position where he was sweating anything. I mean, as far as that, because he was posting on unrelated items. So it wasn't like stress had hit him yet. And that's a good thing.
The interesting thing is that our youngest daughter, she had done her internship in Hollywood. And the apartment complex that was used for the interns is pretty much smack in the middle between Universal Studio lot and Warner Brother lot. And, there's fires just east and just west of that region. So I sent that to her this morning and she's like, wow, I didn't even know this was going on. And she started looking up all of her old haunts when she was out there for 6 months and Santa Monica Pier and stuff like that. And so at least one place that she used to hang out at has been affected so far. So it looks scary. And I can't even begin to imagine, rich or poor, what people are going through. So,
well, I think the biggest issue there is probably the fact that a lot of people there are unable to even get insurance. So,
yeah, because of those fires in Santa Ana winds.
And the other part of it is the fact that, so many insurance companies have been pulling out of California on a whole. And so it's just, this could be the perfect storm of bad. I mean, just bad all the way around. Landmarks are going to be lost. Houses are going to be lost. People are going to be affected adversely. And how they plan on making this whole, good luck. I mean, we're still looking at what happened, in Asheville, and
where we used to live,
and they are a long way. I mean, we're talking years away from being returned whole. And so bless you. And our thoughts are with, everybody that's affected there.
For sure. Hey, Paco, let me see. How are you, Paco? ¿Cómo están? Thank you for subscribing. We do appreciate it very much. And we're always happy to welcome you to our family of subscribers. Salud. Yes. This video is going to, or this live, I should say, it's going to start out really about what our plans are for the new year. 2025 is a bit of a transitional year for us in that we're slowing down a little bit on our travel.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But we needed time to be in one place to get some things done. And it's hard when you're 1 month, 2 month. I need to get some dental work done. Doing things like eyeglasses. We need to finish our RFCs. We got the basic level of RFC. We need to get the full level
with the biometrics.
Yeah. We also need to do get a bank account.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things that are on the plate that we went, we need to be one place, change our address with INM.
Yep.
Fortunately, our very good friends are like, use our address. Just, you guys use our address and life is good.
Yeah.
And they said, somebody comes looking for you, we're going to tell them the truth. You're traveling. I mean, so.
Because it's really hard to update. You're supposed to update every, I think it's 90 days after you've left a location.
Mm-hmm.
And with us going someplace new every 30 to 90 days, that means we have to update with INM very frequently. And it gets difficult depending on where we are at the time. So yeah, that's going to be very helpful. And since our journey's pretty much half over, we don't really have a lot of places left to go yet.
More than half over.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to sitting down and going, we planned out the rest of the year, booked our Airbnbs for both San Luis Potosi and for Ajijic, because those are the two that are coming up after this, which both of those, it's 3 months in San Luis Potosi and then 2 months in Ajijic.
And I just booked 1 month in Manzanillo.
There goes 2025
so
as far as.
That takes us straight through to next year at this time.
That leaves us with about 9 months to finish up the tour.
Yeah.
And
we don't really have a whole lot of places left to go. So this period of time that we're staying in Querétaro, in total, it's going to end up actually being 7 months. And like he said, we needed that just for basic health things and administrative things. I mean, we both need dental appointments. He needs some pretty heavy duty work done. And we both need eye exams and new glasses. And
What?
yeah, it's hard when you're only in a place for a month to 3 months. You can't always get those things. If he needed a dental implant, for example, ideally you want to be someplace longer than 3 months. You know, I
Well,
mean,
if it takes as long as it did in the States, we'll be waiting until we pick a whole place because that was
well, I know
years.
that
but
was ridiculous, but eyeglasses too. You don't know how fast they can get your frames in. Maybe it's only 2 weeks, maybe it's a month, maybe it's the next day.
Well, I think
But,
I think another part of it is the fact that we have such a support group here in the Querétaro area
Yeah.
that we have the ability to go, who do you suggest?
Yeah.
Who do you recommend that we go to get these things done? And so, all of those are boom, things that are positive. So, ooh. Well, speaking of things that we're getting done in 2025,
Do tell.
January 25th, the schedule has been set.
Oh, yes. The YouTube creators meet and greet with subscribers will be in San Miguel de Allende on the afternoon of January 25 from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And depending on the number of people, we're going to actually hold it in our Airbnb Jardine area.
Yeah, we have a
We
very
have a really
large,
big place.
very large Jardine. And so it was, with the number and everything else, it was sort of like, why are we looking outside? And that way everybody's going to be free to go do dinner if they want to pair off and go to dinners and all of that type of thing.
Yes.
So, and there's some wonderful restaurants in San Miguel de Allende.
We sort of figured, instead of trying to struggle with, do we set up a dinner? Do we have something catered? What do we do here and there? We figured people can eat before they come if they want. 3 to 6 is like right smack in the middle of meals, pretty much. And if they're hungry, they can go eat afterward if they want. We'll have snacks. It can be a BYOB.
BYOB.
So if you want to bring water, if you want to bring Coke, if you want to bring beer, whatever you want to bring, it's fine. And we are literally about 3 to 4 blocks just west of the cathedral in Centro. So we're in very easy walking distance to everything in San Miguel. It just made sense to just do it at our Airbnb. We don't have any party restrictions on the rental. We already checked. And I don't think we're going to throw some kind of wild, crazy party that annoys people anyway. So
I wouldn't know
we are not.
No, but the other thing is just to give everybody an idea who all is going to be attending. As the event got closer, people started dropping like flies as far as the creators were concerned. So besides the two of us, there will be Mark and Paulette from Two Travelers Mexico.
Yes.
There will be KJ and Craig from Truly Remarkable Life in Ajijic. And of course, the man himself, Ernie Baca, and his wonderful wife.
His wonderful life.
Well, yeah, my mind was all trying to go to pronouncing Yamiseto's name.
I
hope I did not.
Letty.
Yamiseto. Okay.
No, just
whatever. No.
Anyway, Ernie and his wife. That's the easy way of saying it. And then I think we're missing one.
No, we have people who will be showing up for the collaboration.
No. Yeah, there's Ernie. Okay, so Retired Life Mexico No Bull, us.
Truly Remarkable
Life. That's right. And then Paulette and Mark from the Two Travelers in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
That's the confirmed group of people that will be there. The overwhelming majority on the event page has voted for just a mix and mingle, which is perfectly fine. We're all good with that. And It'll be a pleasure to meet you.
Yes.
Yes.
You guys know our faces, but it'll be fun for us to be able to put faces going the other way.
Yes, Cindy is correct. It's Iamiletto. And we were told that maybe that's the long version of Letty. We have actually known 2 people named Letty, and we're wondering if that's the long version of Letty.
I can see why it would be Yeti. Letty.
Oh my God, Yeti. Do you want to start?
Letty.
Let's start over.
That.
Let me get to some comments here. Oh, yes. It is smart. I agree, Shane. I feel like if it's right there in Central, nobody has worries about transportation to get to some vineyard or something. We don't have to worry about the food issues, so no food restrictions, allergies, special diets. It's just bring what you want to drink, and we'll have some snacks. And
there's plenty of seating areas.
Yes,
there's tables. There's a almost like a couch-like structure that's around a fire pit, and I mean and we will be sharing the address on the Facebook page so that people know where they're going.
Yeah, no, we will.
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to put it out there just yet.
No,
just be aware that it's only a 3 or 4 block walk west of the cathedral. It's really not very far from Centro proper. And it's an easy walk to get to it. I just don't want to put it out there yet. I mean, obviously for security and safety reasons. It'll be like those pop-up parties.
Yeah. And yeah. And we will share it in 2 weeks when we have our live right before, just a couple of days before we actually head up there. So
I think so too. I skipped over you. I'm so sorry. We're waiting for a really bad snow, ice, and weather Friday in Atlanta. Wow. I wondered if Atlanta had been affected yet. I have some friends in Eastern North Carolina that got ice, and they had a bunch of school closings.
in the mountains of Western North Carolina and Charlotte area, they're preparing for it as well, because it's going to do one of those. Normally when it hits Atlanta, it sort of just jumps on I-85 and goes straight on up and hits Atlanta, hits Charlotte, and then keeps going right into Raleigh, and it's like, okay.
I'm going to share this for anybody who doesn't realize, and they think it's funny, because I'm guilty of why people in the South freak out with a snowflake. Because I'm from Pennsylvania, and I used to have to walk in the snow up to my hips sometimes to get to school. I mean,
barefoot and uphill both ways.
But it is true. I was in a walking district, and we didn't have school buses. And since we didn't have school buses, we could walk, and we did. And every time school got called off for everybody else around us, you could bet your money we had school that day, because we didn't have busing. But I was like, why did they close? Because they got a snowflake. Well, it's because, one, they don't get it that often, so they don't invest in the equipment.
There's no point in it.
There's no point in investing in snow plows and de-icers and all this stuff when you don't get it that often. And 2, usually what they get is the ice. And the ice is a whole lot worse than
I don't care how
snow.
good you think you can drive in the snow. You cannot drive on ice because you have no traction.
After moving from southwestern Pennsylvania to the Charlotte area, I figured it out finally.
And then you have the problem. You have the people who grew up there who don't know how to drive.
They don't know how to drive in the snow.
Then you have the people that were like yourself, that came down that,
what do you mean you can't drive in this? Get out of the way.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way. And so it just, you had the 2 extremes, and it creates mayhem.
Where's my 4-speed manual?
So everybody just stays home.
Yeah, I mean, I used to push snow with my front bumper just to get to work, but no, you can't drive on ice. Ice is not the same thing.
Nope.
So that's why people in the South go a little berserk when they get a little bit of snow or ice. It's because the conditions can be very treacherous because of lack of preparation, lack of skill, and mostly because it's ice and sleet.
And the other problem is even if it's snow, if the temperature is warm enough, it will melt it, and then it will freeze as ice overnight, and then you get the black ice.
Black ice. Hola, Lambden.
Oh, Lambden.
Buenas tardes y todos los demás. What's that demás mean now? I go to you because I don't know what demás means. I got the rest of it.
Yeah.
You figure it out, baby. All right, so let's see here. Oh, okay, Paco. I recommend Caleta de Campos, Michoacan, or Barra de Nexpa. Is that Nexpa? Is that how you say it? Nexpa or Nexpa? Near Caleta. It's where I'm from. You know what? Thank you, Paco. I will look those up. We'll see where they are on the map because, as we're moving around, as long as it's in our direction that we're going, it's always a possibility. And if not, it's always a place we can visit another time.
Yeah, it has to be someplace we can do day trip from wherever because we can't really stop on the way when we're going from location A to location B. It has to be someplace we can do a day trip from. Yeah,
sure. I mean, I definitely want to check out places we have not seen or heard of before. Oh. And yes, again, as I was saying here, Cindy, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I want to say Iamileto, which, again, we've known two people that were called Letty, and I'm wondering if Letty is the short version of that. It's possible. Cindy, come. You can come, Cindy. Make it happen. Do it. Hola, Papa. I wish we could come and then get together, but we're booked for the beach resort. Oh, come on. Beach resort this time of year?
You're breaking my heart. I mean, come on now. I mean, swim up bar, beach.
Yes.
No, it is going to be a fun time, and it's going to have a lot of good stuff going on. And it's going to be fun to meet a lot of people. So
yeah, and I guess we'll gauge how it goes and try to figure out if we want to do it again. And if we do we want to keep doing it in San Miguel or do we want to go somewhere else? I mean, I don't know. We've been asked if we would consider doing it in Merida another time. I don't think anyone has a hesitation about that. It's just a matter of, how does this one go? How does it work out? I mean, we just got to try it and see.
I mean, this has organically grown from just basically, it was I contacted Ernie and was like, hey, why don't we just, we're going to be in Querétaro. Let's do a meet and greet. Stephanie, who's on here, said that she was going to be in SMA and was leaving in, I think, early February. So it was like, let's pick a time and towards the end of January. And we just do a mingle. And then it sort of just kept snowballing.
It kept growing. Brighton, from almost retired in Mexico, was going to try to make it, but it's not possible. However, we are meeting him tomorrow for dinner. So I'm looking forward to that. Brighton and his wife.
Yep.
So we'll be meeting him tomorrow. We'll have dinner. We'll talk about a potential collaboration. It's not going to happen over dinner.
No.
But maybe we could do a video call type thing.
Or, I mean, worst comes to worst, we just wait until 2026 and we're going to be there in La Paz and do it then. So
when we get out to his area, we could do it then. We will be trying to do collaborative interviews with.
Pull up the next thing and you can actually see any question about that.
Well, it was right here and it went past. It's right here. No. I know.
The next one.
Now you're confusing me.
Note down one from Peppa.
Yeah, I knew that. That's why I was heading there.
Okay. I thought you'd want to show it. I mean.
No. Okay. So yes, we are having interviews with the other YouTube channels. I don't know exactly what yet. See, I'm really terrible about coming up with an idea. I'm so bad at it. I will say this, that Craig and KJ of Truly Remarkable Life are very good at coming up with collaborative ideas. And you know what? And Louisa and Michael were as well. Mm-hmm. They had really good. I'm just so bad at that stuff. I'm just like, okay, what are we going to ask you? What are we going to talk about?
Well, and one of the things that we're actually doing, just so everybody knows how this is going on, we're actually going to be having a dinner with all the creators the night before. And so I'm sure that that's going to be a very big topic of conversation, along with how do you get more subscribers? How do you get more views on your videos? You know, what are you doing doing this? And, you know, how's this working? And I'm sure that's all going to, and I know we'll all be talking about trying to figure out, anybody got an idea what the algorithm is? Because that's the whole key.
None of us know that.
None of us know it. You know, if we could figure out how to become Mr. Beast, then you wouldn't have to work anymore. And, you know, but that's probably not going to happen. So
here's a good question from JH. Hola, JH. How are you doing tonight?
There's not much left on the top of my head.
Oh, God. My best guesstimate at the moment, without having the numbers right in front of me, is probably about 45.
40 to 45.
I think it's higher than 40. I think it's about 45,000 a year. But remember, that's Airbnb rates.
Well, it's Airbnb. It's a lot of travel between cities, which, I mean, we take in, you know, a lot more tolls. We take, I mean, the gas and everything else. And, you know, some of them we have, you know, motel stays, but because some of the drives, I mean, coming from Riviera Maya, going all the way to Tuxtla Gutierrez, that took 2 nights at the auto motelist because, you know, that was a lot longer than what we wanted to drive. And we only drive during the day. And the goal for us, every time we do this, is, you know, about 3 o'clock, we need to start looking for where we're going to be. And so, you know, that meant we went from Riviera Maya to Merida, then Merida over to Villahermosa, then Villahermosa over to Tuxtla.
I'm going to make a best guesstimate. Again, I'm just guessing that probably if we kind of did off-platform renting of an Airbnb,
probably knocking down high 20s, low 30s.
I'm thinking, I was calculating that before at about 3,500. So I would say probably I'll take it to 3,000 to be conservative, but I think it's lower than that. And so probably about 36,000.
Which would be right on your number. I mean, because our goal is $3,000 a month.
But I believe once we find a place and we get a lease and normal rent, it would be much lower than that. I think it would be less than 30,000. That's just my guess.
Depends upon where we choose, what amenities I mean,
it's true. There's so many things that go into it.
There's factors that enter into all this that you really just sort of have to start going, you know, the video that is going to be dropping this week is all about why we spend what we spend in Airbnbs. Yeah, so, I mean,
if we're going to be honest, poor Mark, he does most of the comment responses on the actual YouTube channel. And we get hammered a lot about how we're paying too much. And, oh my God, that's more than I pay for my long-term lease, blah, 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 blah. Well, we totally understand that. We do understand. The problem is we don't have a long-term lease.
We can't get a long-term lease for 3 months. We got to pay the going rate. So that's what this weekend is all about. So, it was sort of a mini vent.
He needed to get it off his chest.
Just mini, not blasting, just let's explain.
Let's explain it. Because all right. So the truth is that, you know, when you have a YouTube channel and you start to grow and YouTube starts to put your videos out more, they'll put it like on the front page and somebody goes to YouTube and they see this video and they know nothing about you. This video is being suggested to them. They don't know anything about you. They don't know that we've been doing this for 2.5 years. They don't know that we have to do Airbnb. All they see is here's this video and these people are spending more than I spend in the United States.
Yeah.
And in some places, that's true.
I mean, you know, we're spending more here on Airbnb than what we spent in Asheville.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's
our rent in Asheville was less than some Airbnbs we've been in. I can
most
tell you,
Airbnbs.
tell you right now, I mean, like $5,000 a month won't get you anything good in New York City, but you know what? It'll get you a mansion in Antlers, Oklahoma. So it's all
You'll be
about
elected mayor in Antlers.
it's all about location and what the market is in that area. And it's also about the fact that this is not a lease, it is not rent, it's Airbnb. There's taxes for like hotels, there's platform fees, there's all kinds of stuff, which
we explained.
I don't
Saturday
even want
morning.
to talk anymore about Airbnb right now
Yep.
because they are under my skin. I've been fighting with them for 24 hours right now about something. So ICE is the worst. Oh gosh. Yes, it is.
Demas. Las otras personas en the room. You want to know what Demas was in Lamb?
Oh, okay. You're skipping ahead. And I'm like, where are you getting this? I'm on a different comment.
Damn. Suddenly she was like, oh, it just came to him. Oh, and no, I'm cheating.
Oh my Lord. I've had a long day today. Please don't mess me up anymore.
Okay.
Gosh. All right. Let's see. So look on the map. It's all the way south coast of Michoacan. Okay. All right. I'm going to look. Thank you, Paco. Gracias. Hey, this looks like Mark and Paulette.
Yep.
What's happening?
Hola, mis amigos.
Yes. Here, what you got here? Here is a cartel map. Next post for link. What row? I don't think we're seeing it though. I don't think we're seeing it, JH. You know, we got a good idea where some of the cartel activity is. And in fact, we were in Chiapas and we knew there was a good amount going on there as well. So we try to be good. We try to say
we try to be and for some of us it's difficult to be intelligent about where we go, and if we're going to err, we're definitely going to err on the side of caution.
Sure thing.
We scrapped when we first got down here. We were going to go to the city of Guanajuato, but because of the escalation in cartel activity in the center of the state of Guanajuato, and we were going from San Miguel over to Guanajuato City and driving right through the middle of it, we elected to go north instead and spent that 1 month in San Luis Potosí, and we're glad we did.
Yeah, because that was a delightful surprise. So, San Luis Potosí.
That was like, yeah.
Yep. Okay, Shane, we'll be heading that way from Guadalajara, visiting our dentist and a couple of friends in Ajijic, and an appointment in Guadalajara. Before we head that way, it'll be our first ETN bus trip adventure. Oh, Shane.
Can't wait to hear about that.
We want to hear about that because we're actually considering, while we're here for 7 months, potentially taking some bus trips, maybe to Mexico City and some other places that we typically didn't really want to drive to.
No.
But it gives us an opportunity to experience those locations. So I would love to hear about your bus trip experience.
Absolutely.
Because we have yet to do that. We have not done buses. I know Mark and Paulette has done buses many times before.
Yes.
And they've always talked about, how nice and convenient and comfortable it is. So let's see. Do you own a home in the States? No, we do not.
Nope.
We had a home in Indian Trail, North Carolina, which is in the county just southeast of Charlotte. We sold it pretty much right after we moved to Asheville, and we were in the Asheville area for about 6 years. So at that time we were renting, and then we just decided to come here. So no, we don't have any property. And
all we have is a 5 by 15 storage unit of vinyl and other assorted crap.
Records. 1,600 records.
No, I can't say it's all crap because, family photos and genealogy stuff and mementos that are important to us. But we really when we left Asheville, it was pare down to, literally as little as possible.
I mean, we pretty much had an estate sale, and what didn't sell, we either gave away or threw away. So we don't have any of that stuff. It honestly, it was so, I guess the word freeing. It really, it just felt very free to not be burdened by all that.
Anybody who hasn't gone through that, if you're on that side of the border, whether it's the U.S., Canada, wherever, and you're thinking about moving down here, put a dumpster in your driveway. The first couple of boxes, for some people, were very difficult. And then suddenly, as you start filling said dumpster, it becomes very cathartic. It's like,
well,
oh.
Okay, so let's clarify this. Before we got to the point of having a dumpster, I already was in the mindset of having 3 piles. Piles for storage, piles to take with us, piles to sell or give away in some way.
Get rid of one way or another.
So it was store, take, gone. So by this time, we had already stored the things we wanted to keep. We already had a good idea of what we were taking with us because we had limited space in our car to take what we could take with us. And I already knew this stuff was either going to be sold or gone. My difficult thing was not throwing it in the dumpster. It was, my goodness, somebody could use this. I hate that we're throwing this away.
And we called every charity
yes.
that, hey, look, we have this stuff. We took stuff to Goodwill. We called Habitat for Humanity.
We made several runs to Goodwill at the last minute. And we're running out of time, by the way. We made the time to run things to Goodwill. But Habitat for Humanity came and they only took certain things. They had criteria. They took a lot, but they only took certain things. So now we're throwing this stuff away. And I'm like, oh gosh,
We had to go. The clock was ticking. And then it was still, we had a car full because we took 2 vehicles when we left Asheville. We were getting rid of one when we got to Kansas City. And we still had 2 vehicles full of stuff. Mm-hmm. So she was still in the process of paring down. It was like, this isn't going to fit. I was
still paring down at his mother's house. We had to make one more trip to the storage unit to squeeze a couple more things in. And there's a few things in his mother's closet. And then when we got here, I've pared down a few times here as well. So it's hard. It's hard. You think you're going to need things, and then you realize later you didn't need them.
There's a lot of things that you just go, have you looked in that box since we came across the border? No. Then why are we carrying it around?
Don't know. And we probably could do that again. Because I can think of a box right now that has some things in it that we haven't used one single thing out of that box since we made this trip 2 years ago. Not one thing. So why are we carrying it around with us? I know, but sometimes you need that. You need that smack upside the head that says, look, dummy, why are you hauling this thing around that you're not using? There's no reason to have this. You're taking up space. You're causing more stress. It's more work to carry it in and out and place to place. So yeah.
Bob.
It just takes time sometimes to sink in, right? And yes, Cindy, I think that Brighton and Kat are really, really
I think
cute.
It's going to be a fun evening tomorrow. We are going to dinner with them, and then we'll figure out if there's going to be some type of,
I don't know.
Interview, parody, whatever Brighton wants to do,
We'll see. And oh, hey, Jenny. Hola, Jenny. Does Mexico feel like home yet? I know you've been here for a while now, but since you're hopping around, I'm curious to know if it still feels like a trip.
Yes and no.
I was just going to say that.
I mean,
we're on the same page. it feels like a trip when we have to get up and move and move and move again. Now, with that being said, I think we both are very relaxed and comfortable in the fact that we don't have to do it until July.
Well,
So,
and also I think we're both very relaxed at the fact that we are in Mexico.
oh yeah, being
I
in
mean,
Mexico is
you know,
fine.
wherever it is in Mexico, we have not had an issue at all.
I mean,
So
something can happen one day, but does it feel like home yet? Yeah, yeah. And I've got this, it's coming eventually here. I want to wrap up the Puebla videos. There's only a couple left, but I definitely have a culture shock video coming down the line on what it was like to go back to the United States after being here for 2 years. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that rolls into your next thing, that she wants to do a video on the culture shock and everything else. But the whole, while you're acclimating to work and everything else,
Yeah.
this is taking a little bit more of a getting used to, and you know,
So it's been, I haven't worked in a year, right? So I've been devoting a lot of time to trying to produce nice quality videos, and it's been paying off. I've gotten a lot of very nice compliments about the cinematography and the choice of music, and all that's really great. But I wasn't working, and I was spending, I'll probably say about 20 to 25 hours a week on each video.
or more.
Maybe, but
Depending
I'll
upon
just
the
say that.
video.
I'll say that about 25 hours a week on each video on the average. Now I'm working and I'm doing a full 40-hour week. And boy, it's been really hard to try to sit here in the evening after I'm done working. You know, I come down, we have dinner, and now I'm getting like post-dinner coma because I'm tired already, and I've been getting up at 5:30 or 6 a.m. all week. And it's really hard to get work done on videos. Um, the one we're doing this week didn't take me too terribly long because it's just us talking. And that's fine, but it still takes about 10 to 12 hours because aside from the talking, I still have to edit some things in and subtitles and
All the other
all that stuff.
all the fun stuff
But
that goes in with
point
it.
of what he's saying is that
There could be some weeks coming where there
Yeah.
might be a gap.
there might be a gap. I've been trying to stick to a weekly video drop, but I may be putting too much pressure on myself to keep up with that schedule because that means I'm essentially working about 65 hours a week. So we'll see. I'm going to keep trying to do it. But if I'm working 65 hours a week, you know what else that means? We're not getting out to record anything else. We're not getting out and going anywhere. So then we're running out of material.
Well, and literally, well, we knew that this was going to be an issue while being here in Querétaro because, you know, we're like, okay, we've already been there. We've already been to, you know, this Pueblo Mágico, Tequisquiapan, Bernal. You know, we've been to the cigar factory, which we have returned to because, yeah, got to go get cigars. But, you know, and we've done Centro. So a lot of it would have been repeat. So we were going to have to start thinking out of the box. And some of you guys have come up with some very, very good, you know, and literally Gina makes notes and she has a little notepad of things that on her phone that, all right, here's an idea. This was a great idea. Let's do this. So
I've been tracking all the comments and the suggestions. And I also felt like while we were here, because of what he just said, because we've been here before, rather than do a rehash of stuff we've already done here, I thought we would take the opportunity to maybe take one of those bus trips and go someplace else that we haven't been before, like Mexico City, for example. And I could do some things on a trip to Mexico City. But it's going to depend on how the work pans out. And so far, it's hard because we are essentially taking on an entire system in a matter of weeks. So there's been a lot of learning and a lot of meetings and a whole lot of that stuff. And so there's not really a whole lot of extra wiggle room in there at the moment.
And you really haven't had an opportunity yet to develop a set schedule.
Right.
I mean, the hours are set, but the workflow and everything else has been, unknown almost every given week. Is like boom, 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 boom. And, they're about to go live, and that's going to help her. Once she does start going live, she'll be able to get a better idea of, okay,
Sure.
My typical work week is going to be like this. And
I mean, it was so bad I had to drop out of my Spanish class, but I'm joining the next Spanish class. So I just needed that time to just get used to my new schedule.
Expat Spanish. I mean, I just started my new one yesterday.
He did.
And suddenly I was like,
Well, let me just put that up there since we're saying
I'm
it.
used
there
to
you go. Expat Spanish.
I'm used to in most of the classes, not to sort of toot my own horn, I've been one of the better ones. And suddenly yesterday we were doing introductions and I went,
he got spanked.
Yeah, it was suddenly like, you don't have to work to keep up with this group. So, which is a good thing, so
he's got to do his homework. Anyway, I'm going to be in level 5. I had started level 5 and I had to drop out after about 2 weeks because of the work schedule. But now that it's getting ironed out, I'll be back into level 5 in February. And I'm hoping that will work out well because it's like these classes are in the middle of the day, of course, when I'm working. So I'm going to have to block off time and say, okay, at 9 o'clock on this day and 9 o'clock on this day, every week for 8 weeks, I've got this class. And I may have to
make up the time. And then there's another 2 hours of the week that are like, okay,
I would have to like add extra time at the end of the day or something. We'll work it out. Anyway, Expat Spanish coming back. Hi, Deborah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I plan to relocate this year. Well,
where?
Yeah. Well, maybe you're still thinking about where.
Oh.
So that'd be interesting to see and hear about. We hope that the videos have been helpful, and thank you very much for watching. And then, hey, Suzanne. Hola.
Happy New Year, Suzanne.
Wow, looking good, you too. Thank you. Money helps. That's what I say. Money makes you feel good. No. Somebody says money doesn't bring you happiness. I say, give me some. Let me show you how you do it.
Well, it may not bring happiness, but lack of money definitely brings worry. So, I mean,
it's true. And stress. Hola. Stopping to say hi. Hi there. And welcome back. Where have you been?
I've seen them around.
Yeah, glad to see you. Let's see. Love this group of creators for the meetup. Oh, great, Stephanie. Awesome. So that's a definite for you, right?
Oh, she's in San Miguel. Stephanie was the one that was like, I'm going to be in San Miguel until February 9th, whatever, pick a day. And that was the one where it was like, that sort of prompted me to go, well, we're 45 minutes away. Let's just do a meetup with Ernie. And so Stephanie was sort of the one that planted the seed here, and it's sort of just gone,
Yep. And this is what happens when you plant a seed with him. Hey, Shane. No, this is not.
Normally it's not visible.
This is a Yeti. We've had it for a while. It's a nice one. And you can also put it on one of those arms and just hang it. But I don't really want to do that just yet because we don't.
That's one more thing that we can't get in the
One
car.
more thing to carry. I've had this since,
Asheville.
I want to say before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And
you were glad you had it because when you started working remote and
then I ended up using a headset for my job, but I do like the mic a lot. And
except on those off occasions where it just sort of gives us a finger and goes.
Yeah, there's always a firmware update that throws something off sometimes. Hey, buenas noches, Julie. Thank you for joining us tonight. Okay, good. We got some clarification here. Gracias, Landon. Letty and Leticia typically. Okay.
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 That would make sense.
Yep. Yep. Oh gosh. Oh Lord. Oh, there's so much to unwrap here that I'm definitely going to do a video on it. But let me just say, the quick thing is, the sizes of products was definitely a culture shock for me to go back to the U.S. For instance, we're so used to buying 3-liter bottles of Coke here for Mr. Coke Fiend that when I saw
that really doesn't sound right.
I know. When I saw a 2-liter bottle, several 2-liter bottles of Diet Dr. Pepper in my mother-in-law's fridge, I thought they looked really cute. And I thought for a moment that they were just really big single serves. And then it dawned on me, hold on a minute. I picked one up with one hand and looked at it, went, my goodness, that is a 2-liter. And I haven't seen a 2-liter in 2.5 years. They looked tiny to me. And then another of the really big things was how much things cost now. The prices, the inflation and the costs.
Well, and the difference.
Changes in service in general.
Yeah, the difference in attitude. That's,
Attitude and the types of service. There seems to be a movement to eliminate people on the job site and replace them with self-service kiosks just about everywhere. And I just found it shocking, And of course, when you have people who do not do daily face-to-face interaction, well, guess what they lose? The ability to interact, right? And I noticed that. So there'll definitely be a video on it.
Yeah, and one of the things, if you really think about it, social media, when that is your guide to how you are supposed to civilly act with others, God help us all.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what we're saying. So Letty is typically short for Leticia. Okay. That makes sense. I got to learn how to say Ernie's wife's name, or I'm going to make a fool of myself. I really have to. Oh, Deborah, I'm dreading going through everything, but
like I said,
I can't wait to get rid of all the stuff I have.
It's difficult to start. And let me give you this hint. Start before you even think about getting the dumpster.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you quickly go through things and you go 3 piles.
Yeah.
And the 3 piles are yes, maybe, no.
Yeah. Or in our case, it was
whatever. But
store, take, leave.
But in the ones, you make boxes of the stuff that is going to go, because what happens is you start to toss it in the dumpster, you really start to go, damn, that felt good. And you start to realize that I didn't need that stuff. And, we had people that honestly said to us that, we're like, but you're tossing away. I was tossing away trophies.
He was tossing away trophies.
And people were like, well, hold on.
Yeah.
You worked hard. That's a memory. And da, 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 da. And I went, the memory's here.
Yeah.
If the memory goes away from here, holding that trophy is not going to mean squat. And so, why am I holding on to something 50 years later?
And then you have someone like me who has 1,600 vinyl records. And I don't want to give them up. Why? Because I played every single one of them a minimum of one time. And I have them because I like them. And I prefer vinyl over other forms of music. I enjoy the entire ceremony of pulling it from the sleeve, putting it on the turntable, putting the tone arm down.
No. Pulling it from the sleeve, cleaning it.
Oh, yes. No, I clean it first.
I do
clean it first. Then I put it on the turntable. Then I lower the tone arm and I listen to it. That's what I do. And I enjoy that. And if that brings me joy, why should I give that up?
No.
Right? So we put them in storage. Now it's going to be, we got to figure out how we're going to get them down here eventually. It's going to cost us some money to do it. But you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If it costs us some money to get them down here, it's something I like.
We just got to have a place to.
Some of the other things I could not give up. People would say, oh, this stuff's all digitized anyway. Maybe. But I'm the family genealogist and I've been doing it for 30 years. I personally went to the courthouses, to the prothonotary offices, to the ward of courts and all this stuff. I looked up those dockets, got those photocopies, made those records. I did that. I've got books. I've got copies of family genealogies that were sent to me from collaborating distant cousins. I've got things like my grandfather's brother who died at Anzio in World War II. I have his Purple Heart.
No,
I'm not giving up this stuff.
The things I didn't say.
I know.
I'm talking about.
But all the paper,
the crap.
I mean, he would call it crap, but it was paper records. It's photocopies of marriages.
I'm talking about the book you haven't touched in 25 years, sitting on your shelf. Donate it to the library.
Oh, well.
I mean,
I kept some books. Some.
And speaking of boxes we have carried around Mexico that we've never opened since we've crossed over,
there is one small box that has a few books in it. Just a few.
But anything that is media, pitch.
Yeah, that's true. Nobody wants
nobody wants CDs, games, books.
No.
Donate those to libraries and things like that because
nobody will buy them.
Yeah, and if you haven't, if it's something that's sitting in the back of your closet that you haven't worn in 7 years, pitch it or donate it to Goodwill.
Yeah.
Somebody, like Gina said, somebody will get some use out of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, literally, I had over 100 golf shirts.
He ain't lying, guys. He's a clothes horse. And his closet was double the size of my closet.
I mean, I had 20 some odd suits. I mean, it was like gone. I'm not going to Mexico to put on a suit. I literally kept, I think, 5 golf shirts. So over 9, probably over 100 golf shirts.
It's good that you brought this up. And here's the thing. He did bring some clothes with him, but guess what? He lost weight in Mexico. So the clothes don't really fit him that well anymore anyway. So guess what? We got to go buy more clothes.
There is that.
Yeah.
I mean,
it happens. And so.
And the other part of it is there's certain things you want to buy because case in point, you don't want to pay what we paid for this, but another story, but, when you start seeing, the Guayavera shirts, and I'm going, that's a damn good looking shirt.
Yeah.
I want one of those. And, I've got more than one now. So yeah, I have added to the collection because as you said, I am a clothes horse and, I see a good looking shirt like that. And it's like, yeah.
And I say that about him. How hard that must have been for him to get rid of all the clothes that he did, because he really did. He narrowed down his clothing considerably. I think he has 2 suitcases of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was me with the space bags, the vacuum bags. Oh, look, I can compress this and we'll be able to fit it in the car. Well, guess what? I have maybe 2/3 of what I came with because, again, have I worn this in 1.5 years, 2 years? No. Why do I still have it? That kind of stuff.
And the other part of it was, I mean, there's been locales. This house, okay, does not have heat, does not have air. We're in Querétaro, quite common, and making it work and everything else. And would I like to maybe have kept a couple more sweatshirts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it gets cold.
But did I need any sweatshirts at all in Huatulco? No. So, I mean, until we totally settle down, then suddenly the wardrobe will be purchased that will match the climate that we're in.
Yeah. I mean, all those things. Paulette's got a great, I thought it was Mark, but it's Paulette. Mark and I want to know how long it took you to purge your stuff. Not too terribly long, Paulette, because we had a longer plan, and that plan got shortened considerably when our pets had to be put down.
Yep.
And so we had looked like, oh, we've got 6 to 8 months to do this, and then all of a sudden it was like we've got 2 months to do this.
We shaved a year off. Our original plan was that we were going to be moving to Mexico late summer of 2023. And that for our annual vacation to Mexico, we were going to come down and we were going to get, the temporary residency card while we were down here, go to a resort or something, and then, pop into the I&M office, hire a facilitator, go in there, get our temporary residency card, and all is good. And then when we had to put the boys down, and Gina hated her job so much, I mean, and literally it was
like, why are we hanging around?
And we're looking around this house and we're going, there is not a reason really for us to stay. You hate what you're doing. The boys aren't here anymore. Okay.
It's time.
It's time. And so that happened in May, and we were gone at the middle of August. So we really had June, July, and half of August.
Yeah.
And we literally probably took about 2 weeks of putting together everything that we wanted to get into storage.
Yeah.
Because we and then renting the storage unit remotely and everything else, because we got that, so it's not far from where my sister lives, which my sister lives about 30 minutes from my mom. So we got a storage unit there. So in case something happened, we'd have somebody that could go, all right, what's going on? And didn't want to leave that to my mom. So, my sister graciously was like, yeah. And so, we took about 2 weeks of figuring out what we definitely wanted to keep and put in storage. And, the packaging of it all up, and then everything else, putting it into a truck. And then when we got back from that was the second week of July. We had 1 month. And in that month, we had the estate sale. Best thing, if you were looking to get rid of your stuff, do the estate sale. The people who did ours were great. They took care of everything. They staged everything, and their words to us were, get out.
Yeah, we don't want your interfering. Just
let
us do our job.
What do you mean? I paid $100 for that and you're selling it for $5. No, they don't want to hear that. They're trying to make money for both them and you. Get out.
Yeah.
And we let them do their stuff. And then after that, if nobody wanted it, we had a dumpster that came right after the estate sale was over. And
we took a bunch of stuff to Goodwill. And Habitat for Humanity came.
Yep. And we went, the rest of it
went in the dumpster. So we literally, the short version, Paulette, is it took about 2 weeks to get the stuff we wanted to store separated and then taken to storage. And then it took about a month to separate what we were taking and what we were leaving. And then it took a weekend of an estate sale and a couple days after that to finish up what was left over and dump it or get rid of it in some way. It was fast. It was rapid, fast. And
it was, it was good therapy. Because, give a rat's butt about the cat. Sorry, but that's just the way it was. Me and the cat never had a good relationship. But it was good therapy for getting over losing the dog. I mean, our minds, we didn't have time to go, oh, I miss him. We were busy. I mean, we
did keep ourselves extremely busy.
Yeah. I mean, we went from, oh, we got this long-term plan to suddenly we have 2.5 months to get out of here.
And it was one of those things where, because we were leasing, we also had to leave the house in good condition to get our deposit back from our landlord. So of course I'm scheduling carpet cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
We're scheduling a handyman to come in and help fix some of the
little knick-knack things. And then scheduling somebody to come in and totally clean. I mean,
we had thorough deep clean done of everything. I mean, she even got up on top of cabinets and inside ovens and everything and did it.
Pulled the stove out and actually
we repainted some of the walls that needed it. I mean, we thoroughly left that place in pristine condition so that we could get our money back for our deposit, and because it's just the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, we were there for 6 years. We took care of it like it was our own.
Yeah. So we were busy, and it was a whirlwind.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like, honestly, the bottom line is it took about a month to separate and get rid of what we weren't taking with us.
I agree with that.
About a month.
Yeah.
So, okay. So happy Maria Madison. Hey, stuck in traffic listening to your show. That is pretty awesome. You know, I used to do Audible books and sometimes some podcasts when I was in traffic commuting for work as well. So it's cool. I hope that we don't ramble too much and we make sense and we're kind of coherent. That would be awesome if we were. Hey, Ruby, can't wait to see you guys soon. That's right. It's coming fast. What? A couple weekends, right? 14. Yeah. 2 weeks, just about, almost. Yeah. Money is all you need. You know, I'm totally on board. Look, here's another comment about the money, Suzanne. Money definitely brings security. I wish I had more. You know, I love that adage that money can't bring you happiness. Okay, no, yes, there's some very miserable rich people, but when you're so used to having to live paycheck to paycheck, and pretty much we have been most of our lives living paycheck to paycheck.
But lack of money.
You know, when you have money and you know how to save it and how to spend it, it's wonderful having it. Like you said, when you don't have it, boy, I think that's one of the biggest stresses in the world. Not having enough money to cover just your general existence.
I mean, when you're having to do I pay this bill or that bill? That's when it's like, oh, yikes.
Yeah, it's a scary thing to face that, because now that's how you get people.
Yes, Suzanne, I am a Coke fiend.
He is a Coke fiend. He drinks 3 liters of Coca-Cola per day. No, I'm not kidding. I did say that right. Per day.
Probably why I need some dental work. No.
I don't know how he doesn't have more kidney stones, but you know, it's what he likes to drink. He drinks it all day long.
And my labs and everything
are good.
Knock on wood.
We do annual labs. He does not have diabetes. No, not even his A1C is good. His glucose is good. He doesn't have any kidney function issues.
His
cholesterol's good. It makes me so mad because he has a horrible diet. And here I am just struggling to get by. And I've got to worry about high blood pressure, cholesterol, and sugar. Genetics.
But I'm glad you like water.
I drink a lot of water. I have to.
Hola, Mark and Luisa. Michael and Lisa.
Retired Life Mexico. Hola, Venice. How are you doing, guys? We mentioned you earlier. I don't know if you saw that. How about packing the car video? We will be starting a similar path. Thanks to you, we've amended our plan to reduce Airbnb by staying put for 6 months at a time and bopping around. If you can, yes. I mean, are you lucky enough to walk into potential lease arrangements for 6 months or less? We have some friends that are in real estate. They do that. And they warned us that it would be really hard in Querétaro to get even a 6-month lease.
The hardest part about doing that is that to get a 6-month lease, a landlord wants somebody who's going to rent it and fill it.
Yeah.
We're on the move, and we want to know that we have a place when we get there in 10 months.
Right.
And we don't expect the landlord to go, oh, I'm going to sit on empty property.
No, they won't.
For 10 months. Not going to happen. And so that's the part that makes it extremely difficult is we are planners. We have to, if we don't have a plan, it doesn't happen. I mean, we're not going someplace and going, well, let's see what we can find. That ain't us.
Well,
That's
the actual logistics is that, yes, we could go to a place, we could get an Airbnb for a week or two, and then we could walk around and look for a place that's for rent. But even if we did, they typically want you to have a lease that's longer than 6 months. They usually want a full year. And often that's also going to include that you put first months down, a security deposit type thing that you more often than not will never see again. We've heard way too many stories,
I think it's one of those where you count on not seeing it. And if you do get it back, you go, oh, thanks. Packing the car.
Yeah.
That's
a packing the car video. That's something we could work on doing. Well, we're not going to work on doing that.
No, because packing the car video is another one of the major stress times.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything else.
It is.
It is. It's
because
stressful.
only one person can do it. Because one person has an idea of how. So whichever one of you wants to do it, when you start to do it, if you want to take over, it's your responsibility now to make it all fit. Don't jump in and go, what happens if we put here this year? No, I have a plan in my head.
Mark is actually very good. He's like a Tetris expert of stacking things. He's very good at doing it.
And I visualize.
His sister is good at it too. They're both really good at it. I can say there were 4 grown adults going on a cruise, and he got all of our suitcases packed just perfectly for a ride to the cruise port. So impressively. And
yeah, I actually had a crowd of people at when we were getting off the ship.
Yeah.
Looking at that and going, there ain't no way you're going to do that.
And he did it. So he's very good at it, and he knows exactly how he did it before and how it can fit back in there again. That being said, some of the things that we have changed a little.
They have.
We've gotten rid of some things and we have added some things. So sometimes that doesn't jive. And one thing that we never counted on our initial trip when we came down here was the fact that we might have groceries that we're carrying from place to place. And guess what? Those groceries take up room. And, we just never counted on that. Do we throw everything away when we leave a place and then start all over again and waste all that money and that food? No, we don't want to do that. So why would we throw away our food? So now we've got food we got to think about. There's bags of oatmeal and rice and brown sugar and
spices
whatever. Yeah. So those things, we never counted on that. When we packed and came down here, we weren't counting on carrying our pantry items
and
place to place.
And it was tight when we left Kansas City. I mean, tight.
Yeah.
And, our biggest fear was we're going to hit the border and we're going to get the red light. And they're going to go, we're going to go through your vehicle. And we're like,
no, please don't.
That was going to be a nightmare. But it didn't happen. And so we got through. And, we have not encountered that, knock on wood, at any given time since. But, it's a stressor. And I can honestly say the first time you do it, give yourself a lot of time. I mean, I now allow that if we have to be out by 11 in the morning of an Airbnb, by about 6 a.m., I'm starting to load.
We actually start packing some things the night before, or at least staging them
by the door, that it's time to start putting. And we know that okay, all the wicker baskets go in at the very back, up by the back of the seat. And, you know, it all has a spot and all has a place. And it's trying to get as much in as possible.
Yeah.
But no, a video on it,
Look,
it'd take too long. I mean, it'd just be.
Well, I could do it like we did the moving truck.
You know, the time lapse one.
Time lapse and just make it fast. But I've taken pictures and kind of posted what it looks like. Unfortunately, you really can't see how everything fits together and how it all got in there. We've got 6 wicker baskets. 3 have lids, and they have to go in a specific way because they're actually not exactly all the same size. They look like they might be, but they're not. And he knows that. And if they don't go in the right way, then we've got an issue.
You can only run 2 of the ones with the lids in side by side, long ways across behind the seat. You can't get 3 because you can't close the door. So you have to do 2 with the lids, 1 without the lid, because the ones without the lids are short enough that we can actually close the door. So then that means that the one without the lid can't have stuff that's protruding above it, because then you got stuff that's getting compressed. So, I mean,
there's the minutia of it. That's what he means. He knows exactly how he gets this stuff in. And if I try to say, hey, why don't we try doing this? Boy, it really irritates him. And you know what? When he's already stressed out and irritated, you know what that leads to? A fight. And then we're both irritated. And now we got to do this drive. And guess what else is irritating? Doing the drive. It's a long drive. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what obstacles you're going to run into. GPS is not the best. You know, you may not have phone signal at all at times. And, you know, it's stressful. It's stressful for him. It's stressful for me because I'm trying to help him and he's snapping back at me. That is the worst time of our period in Mexico, is when we are packing it and on the road.
Travel day.
Yeah, travel day is the worst.
Travel day sucks.
It's the worst. and we would be lying if we said we never fight. If we fight, guarantee you it's on that day.
Oh, absolutely. That's things just get heightened because we're going someplace normally that we don't know, which, the traveling through the unknown parts of Mexico, let's be honest, adds a little stress to the whole, okay. And that's why we try to stay to the toll roads. There's lots of traffic there and everything else.
Traffic and usually better conditions.
And definitely better roads. And just, if you're driving in Mexico, the road may be great. Do not expect the exit to be as good as the road. The exit because it's not going to be. I can tell you right now, we have hit some exits that have actually moved the car 6-8 inches to one direction because the road just goes from nice, and I'm doing 65 thinking, I'm just going to pull right over on the exit, and all of a sudden you're going, so yeah.
We've had some excitement on the road, man, on the road. Oh, Suzanne, this is going back to the human touch. Yes. And it was very noticeable. I just have to pull my thoughts together on how I want to storyboard this and tell this.
And also how much do you want to slam, or how do you present it so that it's not coming across as going, you know what, life in the U.S. right now sucks.
Sometimes it's just a symptom of a disease that already exists, and that disease right now is, I honestly feel like it's the lack of interpersonal communication.
It's the ability to stand face to face and have a conversation and not,
And this has been coming for years. Social media,
decades
in particular, has made it very easy for people to remain behind a keyboard, be anonymous, not interact with any emotion, or even lay eyes on the person they're interacting with. They just say things that and they say would never be acceptable in face-to-face conversation. No. And so now you're doing this in the workplace too, and in places of business. You're removing human interaction, and it does change. It changes how people interact with each other.
And suddenly you get the idea that it's okay to troll somebody and call them out on this or that. Well, you know what? This person has every right to have the beliefs that they have. And it doesn't make them evil. It doesn't make them bad. It doesn't make them wrong. It makes them right for what they do. And so, people forget that whole when they're sitting behind the keyboard going, ooh, you did this?
Yeah. Okay, trolls. We do not want to feed trolls. Okay. Hey, Tom, how are you tonight? I have been here since the start of the live stream, but was in my car driving from the gym and couldn't join in. Funny, I have you on both phone and computer. Synchronicity.
Good album.
That's a good album. And song. There's about a 1 second between the two. Phone being a little faster. Yeah. Sometimes I get on when Ernie Baca is doing one of his lives, and I'll log on as me. And very rarely do we get in sync, but sometimes we get close with Mark and me. Okay, one last question. Are you growing your hair out, Gina? I haven't seen it this long before, usually to draw a line or close. Eyes, pink, heart shape. Well, thank you. Not really. It's actually shorter in the back. It's
that reverse bob,
it's
bob.
an inverted bob, so in the back it's about here. But the woman who did it didn't quite do exactly what I wanted, but it's okay. I needed a cut, and she gave me a cut and took a couple inches off. But I do need to get to the mall or someplace around here local that I can explain what I want. Typically, I like it just about here. So I need to lose about 2 to 3 inches for sure. I need to anyway, because, when you mess around with your hair color like I have been, you get hair damage, and I just need to get all that damaged hair cut off. So
I'm still waiting for mine to stay.
I love the length. Well, thank you. Normally, like I said, I do an inverted bob. It's always higher in the back, which means I typically have to get my neck shaved because they cut it high enough that that's kind of what you have to do. And then it typically will come down and just kind of follow my jawline. So it's just a little long right now. I'm getting there.
I try and get mine to follow my jawline too.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is, guys, we've been here for almost a month. I haven't even unpacked my clothes yet. That's how busy I've been.
Well, you spent a week in Kansas City.
I was in Kansas City for a week, getting all set up with my new job, and then I got back here.
And started working
and trying to do videos, but 60 hours a week between the two. And I haven't even unpacked my damn clothes. That's just how bad it is. I haven't unpacked my clothes. I've been wearing the same suitcase full of clothes since I got back. They just get washed, but I've got drawers and closet upstairs that I need to make use of.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't unpacked my clothes.
I did.
He had time to.
I know.
He's retired.
Well, and I had that whole week of here by myself, and it was just like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm going to take this set of drawers, and I'm going to take this closet, and and for me, I'm used to having it there, and so it bothers me when it's not. And so,
okay, look here now, Tom. You cannot ask them to bring their dogs to SMA because I don't know what the pet requirements are on the place that we have, and we didn't agree to that. So.
3-dog night. Should I go down that? No,
no, we're not going down there. But 3 dogs
should be in the Hall of Fame. Anyway.
Yeah, they should be. We're not going to go there. Rock and Roll Hall of question marks. So set up a cam pointed at the car for a few hours of packing and then make high-speed hyperlapse. See, that's what I was thinking too, Greg.
The biggest issue with that is I try to get the car as close to the door as possible so that the number of footsteps that are required go down, which doesn't leave a lot of room. And then I'm going to be going, get the camera out of the way.
I'll figure something out. I actually had this idea. I did record some things when we were packing the car up in Oaxaca, which was a month and a half, about 2 months ago. And they weren't very good. They weren't real good quality, and I didn't really know where to put them in at. But I was kind of going down that route.
Well,
I had that idea.
That one we actually had space
We had
to do
space,
that, and
right.
that because we had plenty of room that the camera and the tripod would not have been in the way of what we were trying, us trying to pack it. So, but there's some places, we can't. Watuco, you couldn't have left it down there because I mean it was a 400-foot walk.
Okay, well, it's just a suggestion that maybe
no,
we
I know.
do this. I'm thinking
out.
creatively of ways that this might be accomplished. Like I said, I did attempt to do some when we were packing up in Oaxaca, but it just wasn't very good, and it wasn't everything. And like he said, sometimes you get distracted. He needs help with something, or we have to do something else.
The computer tote.
The computer. Oh gosh, the computer tote. It's so heavy. It really is heavy. That's the heaviest thing we have. And we watched a strapping young man carry it down a flight of stairs
by him
on his shoulders, wearing flip-flops. And he had no issues, no problems. But it takes me and Mark, both of us, to try to move that thing.
Well, I mean, the last time I did it by myself, and it was like, oh.
Yeah, journey. Yikes. I can't wait for travel days.
Plan.
It's stressful. It's stressful.
Gonna be, the more planning you put into it,
yeah,
the less stress you put on yourself, and the more time you allow yourself. That, I mean, the worst times that it actually gets is when we have to be out of a place at 10 o'clock, just to pick a random time. Here, I'll give you a perfect example. Watuco.
Yeah.
Watuco, we had a long walk down 2 sets of stairs and then a long walk just to get from the condo to the car. And we had arranged for somebody to show up to help us, trying to get 2 people to help us do that so that she could stay up there. I could pack the car, and then these 2, gentlemen would bring the stuff back and forth. And we were like, this is good. And 3 hours before we had to be out of there, nobody was there.
Yeah, they didn't show up on time.
And so I had to start just taking stuff down, and it's load the car, lock the car, walk back, grab some more, down, load the car, lock the car. I mean, and finally one young man did show up, and it was like, oh, thank God. But now you got the clock's ticking on you.
Yeah, you're trying to get out. I need to clean. I always clean. I know there's somebody coming in to clean, but I never leave a place dirty, ever. I clean the toilets. I clean the sinks. I mop the floors. I clean out the fridge. I will never leave a place dirty. It will be just like it was when we got there. And so I need time to do that too. So now we're moving stuff, and then we got to clean.
Yeah. I mean, so the less stress that you can put on yourself on moving day and traveling day, the better. And then there's the stress of being on the road. I mean, that particular trip, we actually encountered, they were taking a bridge abutment. And so it added an extra hour to our trip going from Watuco to Oaxaca.
And then from Oaxaca to Puebla.
Oh, good God.
A 4.5 hour to 5 hour trip took 9.5 hours because we were stuck on a road that was closed because there was a pretty bad accident and a potential chemical spill in addition to that.
And fatalities. I mean, it was bad. And it literally took us an hour to go the width of an OXXO parking lot. 1 hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was like, well, I could have gone in there and gotten something to eat and something to drink and
and the downside is that we ended up in a location that we weren't familiar with in the dark. And that is stressful.
And then, of course, because it's in the dark and GPS is very slow on telling you, we ended up missing a turn and having to go make a big loop and go back. And, because the way they do things in Mexico, it's not always simple. So we had to go all the way a couple kilometers back, turn around, come back, and then we get to the same intersection.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, we know that one's not right, but we had two other options. And we're like, okay.
We got there eventually.
We got there.
All we're saying is that travel days are stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, they are. And for a lot of reasons. It's your stuff. It's the traffic. It's the road conditions. It's the lack of light if you don't get there soon enough.
Topes and
everything,
and livestock.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yes. By the way, I forgot to wish you both and everyone in the room tonight very happy year. Prospero año nuevo.
Gracias, Tom.
Yes. Igual.
Igualmente.
You can say igual for short.
Sí. Yes.
Hey, hello, Jim. Welcome tonight. And Fred. Very nice to have you both here tonight. Thank you for being on with us. Mark and Paulette talking back to Tom about the dogs. Hey, Ann. Hi, and Happy New Year to everyone from Pattaya, Thailand. Thailand, my goodness. You are not the only one there right now. Guess what? Georgia and David. They have their travel channel as well. They are also in Thailand.
Yep.
Prayers for Southern California. Some of those affected should consider joining us. Yeah, maybe, huh? I don't know. That's a pretty big tragedy out there right now. I can't imagine. I remember when we first moved to Asheville, they were also having fires in the mountains. And although we were not affected by any of that, you could smell it.
Mm-hmm.
You could feel it in your eyes. You could see the haze, and you could smell it.
Yeah, and it was the Smoky Mountains, because it was definitely hanging in the air a lot more, and that was the one that I think they finally convicted the young man who started that up. Because it was like, what an idiot. I mean,
it was very irritating. So, even if you're not directly affected by the devastating damage that these fires cause, imagine how it affects people's health. Even if you are normally healthy and you have no respiratory issues, it's irritating to your lungs and your eyes. And then now imagine if you do have respiratory issues, how much worse that must be. So it's not, we feel very sorry for people who have been affected with lost property, but even more so for anybody who gets affected with lost lives or just a poor quality of life as a result.
Well, I mean, it was, in watching the coverage last night of what was going on, because Gina went to bed and I was like, yeah, as soon as the game's over, I'll be up there. And I just happened to flip it over real quick and was like, holy cripe, this is going on. And it sort of locked me in for almost a couple hours of going, wow. And, then they show the guy who's in his house with his dog, and he's showing the video going all the way around, and it's flames all the way around. And I'm going, and he kept going, the dog, it's going to be okay. And I'm like,
there's flames all around your house.
And I'm sitting here going, dude, put the phone down, get out, because it's like,
No, that's too much. Let's see, our oldest daughter, when she was in Florida,
they had the hurricane.
No, this is not related to that.
Oh.
Living in Florida, at one time they had wild grass fires.
Oh, yeah.
The fires did not damage their house, but got close enough and hot enough to melt the blinds inside the windows and melt the bumper off her car.
Yep.
That's scary.
That tells you how close that is.
Just the heat from that. No actual physical damage to the house, but the heat alone caused that kind of damage. So
yeah, that's
just
uncomfortable, and but it was actually refreshing to see that when they were trying to, they had to vacate a senior citizens home, an assisted living home, and all the staff is there, and the local people who came and assisted, and all of this is going on, and it's affecting their life, but yet they're taking the time because they're going, hold on, somebody needs to help them get these people out of here. And so you're going, all right, you know what? Every once in a while, you get those moments where you go, the country can still be good.
For sure.
Just, because you're going, these people could have been selfish and gone, I need to get out of here for protect my health, my family, whatever. But they were stopping to help take care of others. And it's like, yes.
Indeed. Hola, Maximo. Have you been to Puerto Progreso? Yes, we have. And we were there for, was it 2 months?
2 months.
2 months. It was November and December. We really, really liked it. It was very enjoyable. In fact, Tom, who's on here, came down and visited us for a few days while we were there. We went there right after staying in Merida. And the reason we did it is because, of course, Merida being the bigger city, we thought, okay, we do like some of the conveniences of Merida, but maybe we want to try a small town feel. And Progreso definitely provided that. We enjoyed the stay. It was very quiet. I like the Malecón, but I mean, we wouldn't be on a Malecón all the time. But in general, yeah, we liked it a lot. And then we went on to our Christmas holiday from there.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting city. It's almost split down the middle. You had the Canadians on one side and you had the U.S. citizens on the other side. It was really bizarre in that way.
It was a little weird.
It was like,
but
what's going on here? But
we were in a nice area. There was some really nice neighborhood places to eat with outstanding food. The people were very friendly and great. The grocery shopping options, I felt like they were a little bit limited.
Yeah, we had the Soriana,
and we did
go in the bodega,
but they were all kind of on the smaller side, and they all sold kind of the same exact things. But in general, Progreso has the best Chinese food we have eaten anywhere so far in Mexico.
Well, the best Chinese restaurant that we found so far.
Yeah. The Mercado there was kind of small, but we did shop there when we could. And I don't know. What else was there?
I mean, that's where we got our labs done for $65.
Yes. We went down the street and got our annual lab work done.
You could tell that there is a vibe there that lives off of the cruise ships that are coming in. I mean, that is
well, and that's true. And while we were there, some of the cruise ships canceled their port of call. You could see that obviously hurts the people who rely on those cruise ships being present. I don't know what the deal is with that, why a cruise ship would do that, but overall, I liked Progreso quite a bit.
Would I go back to Progreso?
Yep.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
it was a nice stay.
It was a nice house, and that was one of our better Airbnbs and everything. And it was very Hola,
Annie.
Hola, Annabette. It was very north of the border. It was not traditional as far, especially as how
well, it had tourism influence. So.
Yes.
Shane, do you have a favorite place to eat in Querétaro? Ruby and I will be there for a couple of days after SMA before flying home. Well, Shane, if you're going to be in Centro, we do like 1810.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We will be there tomorrow night.
When we first got to Querétaro, we would go out and eat wherever. If somebody recommended a place, we would go. La Mariposa is
breakfast.
Really awesome for breakfast.
Divorced enchiladas.
Was it La Llave?
Las Llaves.
Llaves, the keys. Has a really, really good breakfast.
And a beautiful
brunch.
And a beautiful courtyard.
Also very good. There's one place I'm not remembering the name of, and it was the place that we went with Cheryl and I don't remember the name of the place.
Starts with an M.
Also, it was just those are all in Centro, and they were really very good. But when we first got here, we would hear people complain about how Querétaro has no food scene and the food in Querétaro sucks. And we disagree. We think the food is good. But then we also hadn't been in any other parts of Mexico yet. And then when we hit Oaxaca, we were like,
okay, now we understand.
Now we understand. Yeah, now we understand why people complain about Querétaro food. But honestly, we never had a bad meal.
The Grupo.
The one with the roof.
Yep.
Okay. There's a restaurant that has a rooftop acts. You have to make reservations. It's very popular, and it has. Is it El Grupo?
I think it's El Grupo. But if you look up restaurants,
it's a little on the pricier side, though.
If you look up rooftop restaurants in Centro Querétaro, Grupo normally comes up as one of the first 2 or 3 on the list. And
I remember I had bone marrow there. I don't remember what else I had, but I do remember they brought me out a bone with marrow in it. It was just divine.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
It's but 1810, the courtyard and everything else.
Oh, there you go. Annie says, there you go. La Grupa, rooftop dining. Yep. It really is. You have a lovely view of the city.
Yep.
But you do have to make reservations, and they will stick to those reservations. If they don't have room, you ain't getting up there. So
and dress warmly.
Dress warmly.
Because
this time of the year.
Yeah, this time of the year. Well, yeah. I mean, they're coming down to go over to the
they'll have space heaters up there.
They'll have space heaters, but there's a breeze.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those where you go, all right, there's a little bit of a breeze going even with the space heater, unless you're sitting right underneath that space heater.
Yeah.
It can get just a little bit chilly.
The reason I like 1810, unless they have changed, they actually have chili de nogada served year round, which is usually a seasonal dish, but they serve it. They also have escamoles, but I don't know if they do that seasonally or year round. And escamoles are usually pretty expensive because they are very seasonal. But the chili de nogada is so good. It's my favorite dish when I go there.
Well, and it has a beautiful view of Plaza Las Armas, or as the locals call it,
the dog fountain.
Los Perritos. You know, if you go there, you'll see why they call it Los Perritos.
I'm forgetting a place. Anyway, those are right in Centro. I'm assuming you're going to stay right in Centro, so those should be easy to walk to.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some other places that we have gone to outside of Centro. Amadeus was one of them. That was a German restaurant that is also, it has multiple locations around Querétaro. They're probably known better for their pastries. They do pies and cakes and things like that. But if you go to one of their locations, which is not too far from Calesa.
And it looks out on the aqueduct.
Yeah, I mean, that particular location for sure serves German food, which was really unusual to find. And it was very good. Let's see. And hi, Fred. Do you guys have Mexico insurance for our vehicle? We do.
Yeah.
We got a plan. I cannot remember where I saw this.
Mexico Relocation Guide, I think.
Probably Mexico Relocation Guide. Or maybe I did a search online for Mexican automobile insurance, but we've been using the same provider. And the provider offers like 3 or 4 different types of insurances you can choose from. I literally just looked for the one that offers the highest payout for the lowest amount of money. I don't think it's, rocket science. I want the best coverage for the least amount of money, and that's what I go with. And it less than $400 a year.
And to be honest, once you start seeing the prices, we sort of just went all the way over to the best, because we're talking $25 difference for a year, between middle of the road and their top of the line. And so it was like, hold on, that's $2 a month. Yeah, we'll take the premium. And
wait, what?
when
$2 a month for what?
when we started looking at their low end, their middle, and their high end, the middle and the high end were maybe $25 a. Yeah, they were. When we first looked, they were. Okay.
I'm the one that bought it, and I know how much I paid for it. The middle of the road was about $350 a year. Right now, it's about $380 a year. There was one that was a little over 450. That's currently running about 500. And honestly, we didn't pick the middle one. I actually did pick the least expensive. So the least expensive one started out at about $350 a year, and now it's around $380, $385 a year. And it gives us good coverage. It gives us what's required by law, and working out well. It runs around $30-some a month on the average. So, but we pay for a whole year
up front, and it's a damn sight cheaper than what we're paying on the other side of the border.
For sure. Oh, Shane, good. You got the places we said marked on Google Maps. Excellent. Excellent. I definitely, I agree. La Grupa was really, really good. It does cost a little bit more. You know, it's considered fine dining in Querétaro.
And it was. I mean,
it was very good.
The presentation was good. The service was excellent and everything else. So, I mean, it's not like.
But I don't think you're going to go wrong with 1810. And if you want a good breakfast, good breakfast brunch, honestly.
Mariposa.
Las Llaves or La Mariposa.
Breakfast, Mariposa.
Yeah.
The divorced enchiladas for breakfast was just,
Yep. Oh, hey, Arlene. I'm sorry I skipped over you. Hi.
Hola, girl.
Alan. Hola. I got the VC box per your suggestion, and it's working out great here in Querétaro. Very
glad to hear it.
Very good. He watches it all the time now.
I do not.
It's a blessing or a curse. I don't know.
I turned it on just for a little bit today, check on the fires, and that was all it was on. So,
hey, hola, David. Hola, y año nuevo. Caught the live while eating my al pastor tacos. Oh, so good. And I figured I would clean my hands off enough to say howdy. Awesome. Thank you. Oh, I love pastor so much. Oh, man. Very, very good. Although I have to say, when I had Arabes in Puebla, I liked it a lot. Mark, not so much. It definitely had the Middle Eastern flavor, and he's not into that.
Hola, Raul.
Hola, Raul. How are you? ¿Cómo está? Yeah, Deborah. Can you bring your car from the U.S. into Mexico when you relocate?
Depends.
There's always something.
Depends upon whether you go to temporal or permanente. If you go for temporary residency, yes, you can bring it in. You go permanent residency, no.
No, not unless you're importing the car. If you are importing the car, there's specific regulations you have to meet, the age of the car, etc., and you have to pay. So, it's a lot of times it's not even worth it to try to import the car as a permanent resident. If you live in certain states that are free states, you don't have to worry about any of that, like Baja. California.
Baja, or if you're going to be within, 50 kilometers, 30 kilometers of the border, which, yeah.
And Quintana Roo, but
you can't get there.
I don't know how you're going to get to Quintana Roo unless you get a temporary import permit. So, yeah. So you can bring it in if you're temporary. You can only bring it in as long as you're temporary. Mm-hmm. So the longest you could have it here would be 4 years.
Correct.
Unless you go back and you start temporary all over again.
Why would anybody want to do that?
You got to pay. The fee at the time was around $400 of a deposit, which you get back provided that you show them the paperwork showing that you paid the deposit. That's very important because we do have someone on here who didn't have her paperwork and didn't get her deposit back.
Yeah.
So they're very, very anal about these things. So
it's one of those where, you paid us this money. We really don't want to give it back to you. So if you don't have everything exactly the way they want it, we're keeping your money. And, we would sort of look at that and go, okay, it's been 4 years, so it ended up being $100 a year to drive around Mexico. I mean,
guess who is very anal about keeping all those things?
but guess what? They're going to run into somebody who's got everything.
So the thing that we have learned, which we probably should already knew it and just forgot, when we were in Huatulco, it's very important that you realize that if you bring a car in, only one person's name going to be on that temporary import permit. And that person
needs to be the one driving most.
Needs to either be in the car with their identification while the car is being driven by someone else, or needs to be the driver. So if somebody asks to see your temporary import permit and you don't have your ID on you, like I didn't, they could theoretically write you a ticket because you're supposed to have your ID since the car is in your name. So just that's that. Now,
that only happened once. So,
yeah.
I mean, and that was driving down in Huatulco, a side road that was not very heavily traveled at that particular time. And the cops were sitting there with nothing to do.
And he also really, by law, according to Mexican law, he did not even have the right to ask us to see our temporary import permit. I have been told by not just the National Guard, the aduanas, I should say, the aduana told me, and I've been told by someone else as well, that the only people that are allowed to ask to see your temporary import permit are the National Guard. Now,
do you really want to argue?
Are you going to argue with the policeman on the side of the road that you don't have to show him your temporary import? No.
And then make him mad. Then he writes you a ticket and takes your plate, and then you have to go. It was like, oh, no.
Just show him the import permit. And then, of course, he wanted to see the ID that matches the name on the import permit. Now, look, I don't know, man. We're in Huatulco with U.S. plates on this car. Do you really think? Who knows what he was thinking? But he ended up being nice, and he didn't write us a ticket. He could have.
Yeah.
He could have. And he did not. He let us go with a warning. So,
yep.
Now we know. Once your residency is up, well, let me say this. Every time you renew your residency, which typically for people, that's going to be when you do your canje, your residency status on your tip will go from 30 days to a year to match your residency card. But you got to take it to an aduana to get it changed from 30 days to a year. Then when you renew again, you'll probably renew for 3 more years.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do that again. Mm-hmm. You got to go to an aduana.
The tip piggybacks on your residency as far as the dates go. And for that, it's one of those where you just go, you know what? We're going to utilize a facilitator because that way they got the appointment set up for both, and boom, 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 boom. And
they just did everything because we're like that. I mean, yes, people can do these things on their own, but we would just rather let an expert do what they do best.
I mean, if I spoke Spanish as well as Tom speaks Spanish, or Annie Vet or Arlene,
right?
Lambda, there's a lot of people on here who are a lot better than us.
Sure.
It's one of those
getting better.
No, we're getting better, but it's one of those things that we look at and go, hold on, this is too important. I don't want to screw it up.
And then when you're ready to do permanent residency, you have, I think it's 30 days to get the car out of the country.
Yes, that is correct. 30 days after you get. And so at the end of our trip, we started, originally we had this thing for 48 months, and we were like, we were going to use all 48 months to tour Mexico, pick a city, move there, and be done. And we started going, hold on, let's be realistic. We're going to end this journey in La Paz.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the last city on our tour. And if it were to be, let's just pick a city, Merida, that is a long drive from BCS to the Yucatan Peninsula. We're talking, that's about 5 days in the car when you consider the ferry ride back over, and then probably a good 4 days at least, because then you have to drive across the melted road, to get back there. But just picking that one as an example. But even if it was in the middle of the country here in the Central Highlands, that's a 1 day across just to get back to the mainland, and probably 2 days, since we don't drive at night, 2 days to get somewhere in the Highlands. Okay, that takes time. Then we got to settle down. We got to pick a place and do this, and then
sign a lease,
get moved in. Oh, now
right
in the middle of this, I got to take the car back.
Now we got to take the car back. So yeah, we decided that we needed to knock at least a month off at the end, maybe 2, so that we can go back to where we decide we're finally going to settle for a while, get settled in. Now we got to take the car back to the U.S.
Just back to the whole planning and avoiding the stress, giving ourselves time to do that.
However, if we can import the car, if our car qualifies, and I do mean there is a specific set of rules and qualifications in order to import a car to Mexico. And you do have to pay for that as well.
And if it economically makes sense. I mean,
if it makes sense to do so, we probably would. When we first did this trip, we were in a car that has a brand new engine. There was a recall.
Thank you, Kia.
And we had a brand new engine installed in our car. So it was almost like starting with a fresh, brand new car. And I don't see the reason in giving that car up if we're allowed to import it for a reasonable amount of money.
And to be fair, we've driven a lot here in Mexico. As far as if you look at the map and you go, oh my God, they started up here, all the way down, all the way over to the Riviera Maya, all the way down to Chiapas, then back to Huatulco. I mean, on the map, it's a lot, but the number of miles we have really put on the car,
it's not that much,
including the drive down. We have only put, since we had that new engine installed, 13,000 miles.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you're doing a daily work commute.
That's the key. I mean, we think back to when we were, living in the U.S. and she was working and I was working, and, drive to work, come home. Oh, you know what? I'm going to run down to the store, the grocery store, whichever one. I was trying to figure out what I can't remember. Ingles. I'd run down the Ingles because we need this for tonight. Boom, boom, boom. And we'd make all these ancillary trips, at the drop of a hat.
I mean, your daily commute back and forth to work. I mean, depending on how far away you are, that adds up quick.
But we don't do that here. We don't make the ancillary trips. Literally, when we were in Oaxaca, the car did not get started up
one time
for 2 months.
We took the car out once, and that was just to go to Monte Alban.
Yeah.
That was it.
And so, there's not as many miles being put on it. So,
okay, I'm struggling. Arlene, what is Tika?
Well, she spelled it wrong, but that's okay.
What is it?
Tikua, another restaurant.
A restaurant. Okay. I'm like, I don't know what that is. The fire is close to my old home in Calabasas. There were 70 to 80 mile per hour winds.
Wind gusts that were recorded of 100 miles an hour. And I mean,
it's never good.
And you're going, when it starts to just jump the highways, which normally does not occur, it's like,
Dreading a planned trip this weekend to take care of some business. Wish me luck. Okay, I'm wishing you some luck. Last time
bless you, my brother, and may,
Oh, come on. You saw 2 guys waving guns outside their, David,
Via con Dios.
I totally believe you, because one of the last big memories that I have of the job I left behind up there was I had to do something called discharge reports. So basically, you go to the emergency room or whatever, and you have a whole bunch of lab work and stuff done. And then you're no longer in the hospital anymore. You've been discharged. You might actually still be alive and you've been discharged, or you have passed away, but you're discharged.
You're out of the system.
And then next morning, some of these lab results are being finalized and they have to go to somebody. So I have to figure out where they need to go to. And I remember one of the last big things that happened in a 24-hour period, there were 4 gun violent injuries that occurred.
3 ended in fatalities.
And 3 of them in fatalities. And they weren't all associated in the same area of Asheville.
3 unique.
4 gun violence issues in the city of Asheville, in the Smoky Mountains, where people think, oh, this is like nothing happens here. 4 in 24 hours, 3 people dead. That just was like, you've got to be kidding me. What is going on?
Yeah.
What is going on? Oh, there it is. Tiqua. Thank you, Arlene. I'll have to look them up because I don't think we have eaten.
No, I don't
there.
think we've been to Tequila.
And I can't remember where Ray and Cheryl met us the one night. It was a place that Romy suggested to them.
It started with an M. I can remember that much. If I see it, I'll remember it, but that's about it.
Oh gosh. Okay, so we're still talking about dogs. Here you go. Can you guys hear the dogs that are barking? I just wonder. We do have some dogs barking right now. So does the dog barking get easier to listen to daily?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does actually.
You're looking at someone here who actually got up and called the sheriff's department at 3 a.m. because the dog had been incessantly barking since 9 o'clock in the evening. And so 6 hours later, I was like, I can't take this anymore. I can't sleep. Now,
that was in the U.S., by the way.
It was.
In the Charlotte area, he called the sheriff for a barking dog in our neighborhood, guys. Now, no, we don't. We're used to it. You get used to it.
It becomes white noise. I mean, it really does. I can honestly say that, the dogs, the fireworks, the
David right here. There you go.
Musics.
Dogs barking turns into background noise after a while. You do get used to it, honestly. I pitched little dog barks. I get used to those too, actually. But yeah. How did your trip go to the consulate? Are you asking us or Cindy?
I can say this: where we're living right now, we get the twilight bark going on.
Okay. For those who don't know the Twilight Bark, if you ever watch the animated version of 101 Dalmatians, when the dogs need to be rescued,
when they're looking for where they're at,
looking for where the little puppies are, all the dogs start doing the Twilight Bark, where they carry the message from dog to dog to dog.
In this neighborhood,
we have that here.
We get the Twilight, and once we have one that's about 3 houses down.
Okay.
And he's a howler. I mean, and once he starts howling, the rest of the complex just starts going off. They're all going, and it's just like,
it's actually funny.
Yeah.
Does it keep us up at night? Not at all. Not at all. Not fireworks don't even keep me up at night. Do they bother you at night?
What fireworks?
Yeah.
I mean,
none of that stuff bothers us anymore.
New Year's Eve.
I remember one time we stayed. We were on a vacation, a Mexican vacation, and we decided we were going to stay a few days in this place that was in Playa del Carmen.
PDC, yep, on 38th Street.
And we were in a really cute neighborhood, and we had great restaurants on that street. It was just amazing, but there was a beach club about 1.5 to 2 blocks away that I want to say it was on a Friday night. They started them boom, 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 loud enough that it was vibrating windows from 1.5 blocks away. And it went on and on and on all night long until 7 a.m. the next day. He was so mad. He was so mad. And now, that doesn't bother us.
All right.
It doesn't bother us.
Hold on.
It was loud.
Hold on. It was loud. But the part she's leaving out here, I was dealing with kidney stones, and I was miserable.
He was.
To begin with.
He was.
And we were in a condo that had no air. And we were in a room that the air movement was zero. I mean, none. It was just like, oh my God. And
it was like what? It was right around your birthday. So it was February.
No, it was February
in PDC.
In PDC. And we had no fans in the place, nothing. I mean, no air movement. So it just sort of hung there. And so I tried to even get up and go outside because I was like, I got to get some air movement. And it just was, I was miserable from the kidney stones because I endured for 10 days while I'm on the 14-day vacation. Because, oh, yeah, happy birthday, Mark. Here's a kidney stone. Boom.
3 liters of Coke a day.
Haven't had one since then.
Yeah, he really hasn't.
So
he hasn't.
Yeah, I was not a happy camper to begin with, and that was sort of like
it was very uncomfortable for him. But yeah, but to be fair, noises like that don't bother us really now. No,
but of course we still try to avoid that. I mean, we went to Zipolite on a Monday and Tuesday because that's when the beach clubs were closed. So
it's true. I mean, if we can
not put ourselves in that situation,
if we can, I mean, why push it, right?
Yeah.
But what works if you need them, closing the door or a window, turning on the fan to make some extra white noise, maybe wearing an earplug, maybe playing some music in the background to kind of, all those things work. The only thing,
and honestly, time, you really do begin to just.
What doesn't though? I always feel really bad for the dogs. And sometimes the cats, but more the dogs, particularly when there's a big holiday and there's fireworks.
Oh,
it just seems like the dogs just
sets them off.
It can't. It really traumatizes them. And sometimes those really tight wrap things work for some dogs, and sometimes it doesn't. And
sometimes they just need to be held, and sometimes they just gotta let it.
And because Mexico just loves their fireworks so much, it can be very traumatic for the dogs.
And it's interesting the locations.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fight. We don't hear them here in Querétaro, but 45 minutes up the road in San Miguel de Allende, every day of the week.
Every day there's fireworks.
San Cristobal de las Casas, starting in the morning, all day long.
Yeah, it just depends on where you are.
I mean, I used to sit up there and make jokes that Guatemala was invading because they had some heavy fireworks.
Oh, it was like cannon fire.
And then it would sort of echo through the valley around the mountains and everything. I'm like, oh God, Guatemala's invading again. But it was so different areas, different levels.
Oh, whoop, I'm trying to get on to Cindy here. Cindy, I know you got a comment. I'm getting to you here. So okay. So you got temporary resident. The question was regarding your consulate. Yep. Yes. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Okay.
Cool.
Tom, do you think maybe after 7 months in Querétaro that with work and settling down, you both might say this is it? We are staying and don't have to finish the tour. You can always cancel the Airbnb.
Nope.
You know
Definitively.
What?
Nope.
It's a no, because when we first sat down and first started putting this list together, one of the things that Mark was very specific about when he was picking out places he wanted to see was that he had never gone to the places on the West Coast. We had always done Riviera Maya type stuff. And so I haven't been to the West Coast either. And I feel like we would be doing a disservice to literally not just ourselves, but to the country of Mexico if we don't at least check it out. So we're going to stick with it. I mean, we're going to stick with our guns. Now, that being said, we have eliminated some locations to help give us a little bit of longer stay in places.
And some of that, I mean, for pretty obvious reasons. I mean, Acapulco was originally on the list, and no,
it's out.
That's between the hurricane and the fact that it now has one of the highest homicide rates in all of Mexico, Acapulco went bye-bye very quickly. We actually had to have a conversation today because we were like, Manzanillo, yes, no, yes, no.
Was it Ziwa? We took Ziwa
we took
out.
Zihuatanejo out.
We took Ziwa out.
We took Aguas Calientes out.
Yeah.
We took Guadalajara out because we're going to be in
gonna be-
Ajijic and we can drive up there.
And I also feel that while we're here for 7 months, we can do bus trips. We could. Just go check a place out. What?
Anybody wants to make a bet on the side that doesn't occur, just let me know.
Why? I thought
I'm just saying that's because I know us. We're gonna get busy. You're gonna be working. Then you're gonna be doing. I gotta get my video out. Gotta do this. And next thing you know, it's Sunday. And oh, that's right. You gotta go to work tomorrow. I know how this works.
Okay.
Been here before.
Okay.
Seen that movie.
I have really high.
I know you have
high hopes and big ideas, and yeah.
I just know reality. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway.
Yeah. So.
But we are going to finish.
Yeah, we are gonna make. I mean, we're gonna. Here's the plan: is from here we go to SLP. We go to SLP for 3 months because we really liked it. Gina only got a short time in SLP, and the stress level while she was in SLP was extraordinarily high because of a computer malfunction while she was working and everything else. So she really didn't get much of a chance to really enjoy the city.
Mark just wants more churros.
I want more churros. But yeah, we're going to do 3 months there. Then we're going to go down to Ajijic for 2 months, Manzanillo, and then we're going to work our way back up the coast. I mean, we're going to do PV, Mazatlan, and then take the ferry over and do La Paz. And I think that's the last 3 that are going to be on the list. Now.
We have, so we're going to do Manzanillo, Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, La Paz, and pick a place, pick a city. We're getting to the end of this list, guys. It's just like, wow, I can't even believe it.
When we leave Manzanillo, we got PV, Mazatlan, and La Paz. And
we've whittled it down enough that we're saying that we're trying to do 20 plus cities in 4 years. Well, we've done 14. So that kind of leaves 6. And I'm not including the 2 that we've done before. So Querétaro and San Luis Potosí don't count.
It's still going to be right at 20, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to stand on ceremony, whether it's 19, 20, 21, whatever. But it's going to be, we're going to have seen a lot of Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah. We've actually had people who live in Mexico and are from Mexico say, man, you've guys seen more of Mexico than I have. And I can see that happening. I mean, I lived most of my life in Pennsylvania, so I didn't really start traveling around till I was in my young adult years. So,
I've done all 50.
And maybe we can start concentrating on visiting places in Europe at some time. I don't know. Italy.
Well,
I'm just saying. How did I do this? What am I doing?
I don't know what you're doing.
I'm trying to move this mouse, and I hate this little keyboard mouse pad. It's just like it's frozen. Okay, so let's get down here. All right, so next we have, hi, Rick.
Hola, Rick. We'll see you in just a little over 2 weeks.
We love the sounds of San Miguel de Allende, but weren't sure how it would be so long term. So we bought our home in the colonia of Atascadero. Did I say that right?
Atascadero.
Atascadero. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You did good.
A 20-minute walk to Centro. Quieter. Okay. When we were there, we were in Bella Vista.
That's right. It was Bella Vista.
We were in Bella Vista. Not really a 20-minute walk to Centro. Maybe it might have been,
no.
But it sure wasn't going to be a 20-minute walk back. Maybe walking to Centro, possibly.
Well, no, because you had the hill going down, then the hill going back up into Centro, and then coming back, you had the hill coming down from Central, and the hill going back up to Bay Vista.
The hill going up to Bay Vista was something else. But I would say that for the most part, our neighborhood was quiet, but we could still hear the fireworks everywhere.
Oh.
We could stand on the roof and see them going off at one church, and then another night it's at another church,
or at different times. Here's going over here at this church. I think it was San Francisco, and then another time over there at the cathedral, and it was just sort of like, oh, dueling fireworks. But it's one of those that it wasn't the fireworks that had turned us off on San Miguel. Not that anything really turned us off.
No, I liked San Miguel quite a bit.
But as far as we were going to live there, it had nothing to do with noise.
Nope, no, not at all.
I mean, it had more to do with the fact of too many Gringos.
If we're going to be honest,
that
was the biggest turnoff. The biggest turnoff for San Miguel, honestly, was the number of. It wasn't even the number of Gringos. It was the number of.
Being nice. I'm not going down anything further.
Entitled Gringos. I'm going there.
Okay, you can go there.
And I'm not. It's just people who are just culturally tone deaf. That kind of thing.
The icing on the cake was when the dances were going on. They'd done this day celebration for 400 years. And these people were immersing themselves in there to get pictures, because that was more important than the fact that this was something that it was important to these people to celebrate their culture, and they don't get it. That, this is not about you.
Not about you.
You are here and you have the opportunity to witness this amazing event. But to put your ass right in the middle of it, enough said. You can see how much it irked me. It was
it bothered him again. But that was one factor. That was one of the big factors. But another big factor, which was let's be realistic now, we're not getting any younger. And
the cobblestones and the hills.
The cobblestones, hills, and extremely narrow and uneven sidewalks were a cause for concern. And I didn't want to live in an isolated area where we were separated from the local culture and the local people. I didn't want to be in Gringolandia.
No.
I wanted to be a part of the community.
And quite honestly, projecting 10 years in the future, when I'm in my mid 70s, how am I going to be? She worries about me walking these sidewalks now.
Oh, yeah.
10 years from now, I would have to be turning around going, leave me alone. Just let me walk this, because she worries about that much, which is a good thing. She only does it because she loves me. But if I had to hear that all the time, whereas in San Luis Potosí, big, wide, flat sidewalks, I can walk those sidewalks, and she's just like, I'm going to stop over here and get a Starbucks, or there's an OXXO. Do you want to get something? So the stress level for both of us goes down dramatically.
San Miguel's beautiful.
It is absolutely. It's culturally phenomenal. It is visually stunning, and it is a must see for anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, without a doubt.
I mean, I love the arts, the things that you can buy, the handmade crafts and things that people sell. I love the colors. I love all the garlands that adorn the doorways. There's so much beauty in that town. It's very artsy. The food, every place we ate pretty much had good food.
If you ever get 10 days to 2 weeks of your life where you can go, I'm going someplace, spend the 2 weeks right in front of Easter.
Oh, yes.
In San Miguel,
oh, my.
Because you will see some of the most beautiful things and the culture will just take your breath away.
Yeah.
And that part was mind blowing.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Okay. Well, anyway, so San Miguel's not going to make our list for that reason, but that doesn't mean that it's not a good fit for you.
No,
you may go there and love San Miguel.
Some people are going, you know what? I don't know how easy it's going to be for me to learn Spanish. I want to be someplace where I can get away with being moderate on the Spanish and everything else. San Miguel, perfect spot for that. So,
yeah.
I mean, it works for everybody.
You're going to be in East San Miguel near a hospital, not very close to Centro. It should be easy to Uber and taxi. Yes, the taxis and Ubers in San Miguel are very reasonable. Very efficient. And very reliable.
Yeah.
Very much so. So you will have no issues at all. We never had an issue calling for an Uber to come all the way up our hill in Bay Vista to find us.
Not like here in Querétaro the first time where we'd order an Uber and we'd stand there for 30 minutes and Gina look down and go,
they canceled.
Oh, they canceled again because it was a long drive out to Zakia and they just go,
yeah, we're not wasting our time doing that fare.
Nope.
But no, you will have no issues getting any kind of transportation in San Miguel. It was really very efficient and very effective.
Yep.
So,
especially from the hospital area over there, the taxis are all the time going over there. So that's a quick, take me to the cathedral. Yeah.
And Ruby, cobblestones and narrow sidewalks are all over Ajijic. Chapala is wider and flatter. Fortunately, we did the smart thing and got a place between them. So we're right between the two. So we're not too far from either, and we can check both areas out. We were looking for a place. It was really getting hard. One of the things that we run into is the lack of a king size bed. Now, we did try to do a queen, but we discovered that a queen in Mexico is not as big as a queen in the United States. So
God, no.
It felt more like a full. And I joke about this. There's 3 of us in our bed, me, him, and his body pillow. So we do need a king bed. And it's
I got bad. I played football.
Yeah,
high school, college. And if I don't have a pillow between my knees, I wake up in the morning and it's Grumpyville because my knees hurt.
Yeah, this is our situation, and this is how we have to deal with it. So we need a king bed, and it's really hard to find Airbnbs with king beds. That is not common. We have to eliminate so many of them because a lot of them are just a double bed. Like, no.
I mean, just to give you a quick glimpse of what's coming this weekend, we can type in, let's just say, Querétaro, and we'll go, we need 2+ bedrooms because we got to have 2 bedrooms because we need 1 bedroom just for the overflow of crap. So the boxes aren't all in our bedroom and everything else. So, at least 2 bedrooms, king bed, secure parking, Wi-Fi that is very good because she works.
Yep.
Preferably an outdoor seating area so I can go sit someplace comfortably to have my cigars. So, those are the minimums.
A kitchen.
That
we can cook a meal in.
Right.
That has better than a dorm size refrigerator.
It's got to have a full-size fridge.
Hot water.
And those are the must-haves. The wants are, if we can find one that's got a washer and dryer, that's even better. But, an oven, that's a good thing as well. So, but those are the minimums. So those minimums, we type in a city and it'll come up with, boom.
800 places.
800 places. Okay, now you put the filters on there and suddenly it goes
5. And
three of those 5, they want $4,000 or more a month.
Say what?
because they're absolutely luxury, and some of them are. I mean, we've seen some in some locations that, 5 bedrooms, 7 baths, private pool, staff, $12,000 a month.
Who needs all that?
That's all great and good, but that ain't us.
No.
I mean, we're trying to maintain the budget here. So we literally end up with a very small number of them being able that fit everything that we want, everything that we need, and still fall within or close to the budget.
Yeah.
And so, fortunately in Ajijic, we found a place that was right between the two of them. It's a condo arrangement. And we were like,
yeah, my biggest issues with finding places in that area around Lake Chapala came down to where we park in our car.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time it was on the street. We don't really like that.
Nope.
Do they have a king size bed? A lot of them do not, believe it or not.
I mean, literally, we can find a 3-bedroom with 5 double beds. I mean, we have seen that more times than we care to.
So I was actually getting down to the point that I was looking at Hocotepec, and I really didn't want to be that far away. I mean, we do want to visit Hocotepec, but I didn't want to be staying there the entire time. We have heard, the traffic can be pretty bad on that road going around the lake. And so I was like, we got to try to get close to Chapala and Ajijic. And in the middle was the compromise.
And we had to go to Ajijic just because, they have the famous cigar bar.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Mark's got a couple of dates lined up.
There are 2 things that are must do in Ajijic. One is go to the cigar bar, and the other is there's a place in Ajijic that does prime rib.
Oh.
And
is prime rib really all that good? Is it better than filet mignon? I mean, I've never really been a fan of it. There must be something wrong with me. It's just.
I mean, if you were to say, give me a big slab of prime rib or give me one of Moma's fillets.
Tuscan grill filet.
I'm just even here in Mexico, Moma's. I mean, I would probably go to Moma's, but it's been a long time since I've had a good cut of a 2-inch, 2.5-inch slab of prime rib.
Okay, prime rib. Guadalajara has been easy walking. Oh, that's good. You might enjoy areas near, but not in Ajijic, more than you will like Ajijic. So definitely explore as much of the area as possible. Yeah, it's definitely on our plan. And of course, I don't want to miss looking at, checking out Guadalajara. Will be close enough to do that. So I certainly want to spend, if not a full day, maybe a weekend, just checking out Guadalajara. It's a big city, and I don't know, it's worth looking at and checking out. Mexico City doesn't do it for me as far as the draw, and maybe if I visit it one time, I might feel differently about it. But
it ain't gonna replace the fact there's 21 million people there. That part just is.
Guadalajara is pretty big too. It's pretty big. So, but I definitely want to see it.
Monterrey and Guadalajara just keep battling back and forth for the second largest city in Mexico. So,
let me see. Oh, hey, hola, Lorenzo. Hola from Chicago. We love you guys.
Gracias, mi amigo.
Thank you. Gracias. Oh, that's so cool. So glad you're here. Ruby, Arte Cafe in Ribera between Ajijic and Chapala. Arte Cafe. Is that a place we need to check out? It has the word cafe, so I'm thinking coffee.
That's what I was thinking.
I need to see this. Oh, Julie. You just got into San Miguel tonight. So cool. Oh, I hope you're in Centro, and I hope you get out to the Jardín right after this, if you can. And just, it's so cool. I love that Jardín in San Miguel. I love the mariachi.
Mariachis, yep.
They do the pay for play. It's just so much fun. And there's multiple mariachi groups out there, all kind of like in a little minor competition. But it's just a lot of fun. And of course, the cathedral's all lit up. It is a beautiful town. It's a beautiful town. Yeah. And Yvette says she loves a good prime rib. All right.
Of course.
Maybe I should give it a chance. I don't know. I look at it and it just doesn't. I look at filet mignon and I look at prime rib and I'm like, but what is filet? And we actually have had filet that was so good you could eat it with a spoon. Tuscan Grill. It's really good. Ruby. We love Hocatepec. Their malecon is amazing. And the tomahawk at Barrio de Quilmes, Ajijic, is delicious. Okay. Tomahawk. You've had a tomahawk before.
Mm-hmm. Had it
At the Excellence
Resort.
So there you go.
You know, and that's one of those that goes, it's 44 ounces of meat. Bull.
It's 44 ounces.
It's 44 ounces,
bone.
but the bone and everything else, it was like, because I could not polish off, 3 pounds plus of meat. I've been known to eat and I love my beef and everything else, but there is no way. But yeah.
Yes, Tom. I used to live in Society Hill in Philly with cobblestone streets. A breeze, not compared to the streets of Ajijic. Yeah, you have to be a performer with Cirque du Soleil to navigate. You do. You have to pay attention where your feet are going. And even then, one bad twist in your ankle and down you go. And now you got a broken hip. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I agree. It means you have to pay attention not only to where you're walking, but you have to pay attention to the condition of your shoes and everything else, because all of that plays a factor.
Lisa, do not ever apologize for being late. We're happy when you're here, and we all have lives, do we not?
Absolutely.
And I would say your grandson's birthday
is más importante que este.
For sure. But we're glad to see you here, and I hope he had a good birthday. That you enjoyed it. All right. Didn't need to use a facilitator. Yeah, Tom don't need that stuff. Tom's so fluent.
I remember the first time we met Tom in Progresso. We met him at the restaurant, and we walk in, and he's sitting there, and the waiter comes over, and it's like, I'm going, all right, I'm getting ready to impress with my Spanish, and he just starts. I'm like, what the?
Oh gosh. Tom is very fluent.
Yes.
And Tom is also well-traveled, and he is very fluent in the various dialects of Espanol.
He's been to Argentina, been to Puerto Rico, been to Mexico.
And he speaks German.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see here.
We're in Michigan, Cindy, because we will be there.
Yeah, we're going to be in Michigan
in June.
In June for a trip. Going to see my sister, and then we're going to see his family at a family reunion. Because
my family's all from Saginaw. Good place to be from.
And my sister lives just a little south of Detroit.
Yeah, between Toledo and Detroit.
Rockwood. That's right.
Which, don't blink as you're driving on 75. I mean, literally, it's one exit.
Apparently, it's one of those neighborhoods where they can all decorate their houses for Halloween, and the kids enjoy trick or treat.
Oh, no!
Lots of community.
But I mean, it's got 4 restaurants, a medium-sized convenience store / grocery store, and that's it. And everybody knows. I mean, if they have 1,000 people, I'd be surprised.
Let us know, Cindy, where in Michigan, though. I'd be curious. Let's see. And Albert, and I love filet mignon at 1810. Yes.
I think I'm getting that manana. Oh, filet. Yes. The filet.
Filet. Thank you. A bit east of Detroit. Okay. You know where that is? Figures.
East of Detroit's to the lake.
Yeah.
No, there's Grosse Pointe. There's a couple of islands out there, which on your way across the bridge,
Windsor, Canada.
To Windsor, Canada, which
Yeah. Mark, Saginaw Island. You know how to drive a car. His family's all from Saginaw.
Uh-huh. Both
Yeah,
sides.
yeah,
Both sides. All
yeah.
the way back.
Pretty far back
Uh-huh.
as I worked on his genealogy as well as my own.
They
Pretty
came
far back.
from Canada through Detroit and ended up in
Well,
Saginaw, and
they immigrated to Canada
they immigrated, yeah,
first,
and then
then
through.
came through into Detroit. It was
And
during that time where the U.S. had been restricting some of the migration for a while.
and my family had a big deal with actually building downtown Saginaw.
Oh, Northeast Michigan, honey.
Oh, Northeast.
Yes.
Okay. So you in Oakland County, or are you still in Wayne County?
We're going. Go Lions.
Hey.
Oh, Lisa, I'm so glad you asked. Okay. Did you miss anything? Okay, so here's the deal.
Well, to wrap it up, it's a good thing to close on anyway.
Yeah, we're pretty close to wrapping up. So he's right. So January 25th, in the morning, the creators are going to be doing, maybe
Collaborative,
some
whatever.
kind of collaborative efforts, and then we're going to break, and we're going to have the subscriber meet and greet with the creators at our Airbnb. We have a very large Airbnb. It's a 4-bedroom place with a large jardin, lots of seated areas, places where people can break off and talk.
And a lot of the names that you see running over there, you
Yeah.
will also see there. So
yes. And we just sort of figured that 3 to 6 was a really good time. We're not going to worry about food and have to deal with people's, allergies and special food preferences. We're just going to make it easy. If you're hungry, you can get lunch.
BYOB.
Yeah. If you're hungry, you can get lunch before you arrive, or you can get dinner after the event's over. We are quite literally 3 or 4 blocks west of the cathedral. So we are in Centro, and we should be close to everything in Centro for anyone who's staying in that area. So no one needs to get a car unless, of course, you're Ubering into Centro. And we just thought that was the easiest thing to do. And as Mark said, we're going to make it a BYOB, so you can bring your water, your soft drink, your beer, whatever you want to bring. And we'll have some snacks there. And yeah, we'll just mingle. It seems like that's the plan. That got the highest number of votes, was just a mix and mingle type thing. And we got 3 hours of that. And that's what it's going to be. I don't want to post our Airbnb address until like right before, just for security reasons.
You guys know where
Yeah.
approximately where it's going to be. It's going to be in Centro of
Yeah.
San Miguel de Allende. We will be posting the exact address on the Facebook page. And then in 2 weeks, when we do our next live, we will also give you the address at that time. So,
Absolutely. So thank you for asking. I'm glad that you asked and that you didn't miss out on that. Also, I will put those details on the event page.
Mhm.
Again, I'll put the time. I think I kind of already updated the time, but maybe I'll put more details about the fact that we're going to have it at our Airbnb, and I will provide the address when we get closer to that date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think we can handle it. It's a very large Airbnb, and there's a lot of seated places.
There's
lots of places.
multiple tables. There's
Yeah.
a pit area around a fire pit, and,
Yeah.
and so there's going to be room for everybody. So that's
Yeah, I think so. It took the headache off of Ernie. He's got a lot that he's been working on lately, and it was just really difficult. It's hard to know. He was going to try to reserve a restaurant. Now you got to deal with food issues and
well.
Yeah.
First, you got the holidays.
Yeah.
Which he had family in for. Then he has anniversary. Then he had this, and it's just sort of like, with the number of people we had, took one look at the Jardine in our Airbnb, and I went, we can accommodate all this,
For sure.
and we can just be done, and that way everybody knows where they're going to be, and
Yeah,
we go from there.
And that's it. So 3 to 6, 3 to 6 on January 25th, Centro.
And
basically.
Cindy will be doing our family reunion in Matamoros, which I don't think is far from Macomb County.
Oh, you saw that. Okay, there you go. And John. So, John, I visited Querétaro and San Miguel for the first time back in December. Loved them both. Yeah.
Oh God,
We do too. We do like them both considerably.
absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'd have to throw one more in there. I mean, if you're gonna do Querétaro, San Miguel, you got to do Dolores Hidalgo.
Oh gosh.
I mean,
Yeah. Dolores Hidalgo is pretty sweet.
that one of the things about Dolores Hidalgo is it allows you to really learn the history of Mexico, because a lot of where this country comes from originates in Dolores Hidalgo. And both of us are history buffs. We both love history.
Yeah.
And so, in being from the US, we had no clue as to Mexican history. And then we come down here and, okay, the excitement of everything, and boom, 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 we're going, we're now in Mexico, that, and everything else. And we get to San Miguel, and David Valley, thank you, David, very appreciate, goes, let's go to Dolores Hidalgo.
We should go to Dolores Hidalgo, and then we should go to Atotonilco.
Yep. and so we do. We go up to, and he and his lovely wife, we ride up to Dolores Hidalgo, and we're just going, oh my God, this is where it all started.
Well.
Yeah, in a lot of respects, La Grita.
El Grito.
El Grito, Dolores Hidalgo. And so you're just going, wow. And we went there twice, and it sort of spurred us on to wanting to learn more about the Mexican history. And
I was all hopped up on their ice cream, man. Dolores Hidalgo has.
You were hyped up on just trying to figure out how to say the word helado.
I know. I worked all day trying to remember the word for ice cream, and finally, by the end of the day, I was finally getting it. Helado. But they have some really unusual flavors of ice cream there, and I don't like beer, but I had cerveza ice cream and mole ice cream, and they were both really good. So it was delicious. I mean, and it was just a cool place to go.
All right, Shane, now you're picking on me.
I know. Where's he at? Right here? That's right. I saw this about the cigar. Just sniff the air for that cigar. That's right.
Is a good Black Chazaro cigar.
And Tom looking happy and looking forward to meeting everyone on the 25th. Yes, Tom will be staying with us in the Airbnb. He's one of the 4 bedrooms belongs to Tom.
Yep.
Yes. And perfect. Our Airbnb is in Centro too. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be able to just stroll right over to where we're at. And
it just made the most sense. It just, why make this difficult for anyone? If everybody's going to be in Centro or close to Centro and we're in Centro, why don't we just do it?
Yep.
Right there. It made sense. Let's see. Did you get any more confirmations on YouTubers? Okay, so we only have the 4. Mark and Paulette from the 2 Travelers in Mexico.
Yep.
Ernie Baca and his wife, Farm Retired Life Mexico No Bull.
Yep.
Us.
Yep. And Craig and KJ from Truly Remarkable Life and Ahihi.
Yeah. So they will be there. We do have a couple of YouTubers. I hesitate to say who right now that will participate with collaborations, but they're not going to be part of the meet and greet. They had other plans, so they won't be there. So just suffice to say that actually at the meet and greet, it'll be those 4 channels. And I think about right now, I think we have about 14 or 16 subscribers.
Yeah, it's going to be
Something
20,
like
25
that.
people total. So it's going to be plenty of time to get to talk to everybody. Nobody's going to be rushed.
I mean, there may be some people in San Miguel that find out about this and aren't really doing the Facebook or the Facebook event page type stuff. Oh, I totally get it. Maybe some of those people will show up who don't really know just yet. So, yeah. Okay, Cindy. Buenas noches, dear. Thank you for being here tonight, and I hope you have a good night. Oh gosh, Arlene, I'm telling you, that mole ice cream, I just couldn't even believe it. First, I don't like beer, and the cerveza. Cerveza was really good as well. So, and of course, I always get mango, the spicy mango, because I eat those anyway. So
chili mango.
The chili mango was really, really good.
Now, you can get some good helado also around the square there in San Miguel de Allende.
Yeah.
You had the rose.
I had rose. In San Miguel de Allende, I had rose flavored ice cream. Incredible. Like, how is that even possible? It truly did. I guess it's just because, your olfactory senses are working with your taste. If you lose your sense of smell, you often have also lost your sense of taste. So I guess if it smells like roses, it tastes like roses. Guys, it was rose ice cream, and it was good. In San Miguel. And I was eating it, and there was a little Xolo next to me. The Xolo. So they're just so ugly. They're adorable. So cute. With the tongue hanging out. Oh my gosh. Be there or be square, as they say. That's right. Okay. So also, guys, Arlene and Yvette, they are also one of the bedrooms in our Airbnb.
Well, duh.
That's right.
There are girls.
There are girls. That's right. So, and we have two other friends that we're still kind of working on the details with them. So, oh yes. So Indian mom in Mexico.
In the morning.
She's doing the morning. She cannot do the afternoon. But she was very happy to be involved in doing a collaborative video type thing with all of us and meeting other YouTubers. She's committed to the afternoon, and she can't do the afternoon.
There are various others that wanted, and some of them really wanted to participate.
Yes.
And, big channels that were, I'm in a wedding that day.
Yeah. We don't want to say anything about who would have been there and now they can't, kind of thing. So it's all right. We understand. Things happen.
And this was not exactly like, here's 12 months in advance planned for Comic-Con 2026. I mean, it was, here it is. We're throwing this out here.
See, one of the people that was teasing with the idea of participating was Brighton from almost retired Mexico. Problem is he's in Querétaro right now.
We missed him by 2 weeks, basically.
He's in Querétaro right now, and he really can't swing financially doing another trip.
And then
just to come out.
Well, then we had another one that was leaving the week before to fly back home to Canada, and then was like, I don't know if I can fly back in time to get back.
Right.
And so
Sean in Paradise is
back in California, I think. And
I thought it was New York. But I don't
know. Wherever
they're not here.
He's not going to be in the country.
Not here. So there were other people. I did contact William, the Swedish man who does. I cannot remember the name of his channel right now, but if you guys know who I mean, he's that daredevil guy who does really crazy things.
Israel.
And he hasn't responded. And I also reached out to Israel. If you guys know him, he does some of the most beautiful drone footage videos, lovely features on different cities. I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous cinematography. And he just recently, after taking almost a year off,
was restarting his
he put a video out saying that he was returning, that he had gotten busy, but he was going to return in this new year. And I'm like, oh, this is a great opportunity to help launch him, and I really was hoping he could come, but I haven't heard from him either.
Travis,
formerly of Cafe Con Leche. Travis has been in Spain. He cannot come. Georgia and David travel.
They're in Thailand.
They're in Thailand. They cannot come. So I did put a lot of feelers out. So we end up with the 4 that we have. And we have a couple extra that are going to participate with just the Creator Collaborative because they have other plans for the afternoon. So that's it at the moment. What? Wait, so we mentioned
I want to know whether that's Mark or Paulette that made that comment.
We need to party with Arlene? What?
All I can say is bring your A game.
Okay, look, we're not going to go there.
I'm just saying.
For this?
If you want to come and play and party with Annie, Vet, and Arlene, and Mark and Gina, it has been known to go for hours.
Well, let's just say the last 2 times that we've been to Annie, Vet, and Arlene's house, we've been karaokeing till at least 3 in the morning.
At least.
Last weekend, it was 4 a.m. We were still singing at 4 a.m. and Arlene took 2 days for my voice to recover. I have learned that I'm getting old. I don't have the volume, the air capacity that I used to have, and I don't have the range I used to have. I used to win karaoke contests. Now I just suck. But we had a good time, and that's what's important.
Hey, I showed them how I won a karaoke contest.
That's true. That's true. Mark did Hollaback Girl for them. Ooh, this is my shh. This is my shh.
Yeah.
It was fun. We had a good time. Yeah, we could stay up to the wee hours in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
We've been known to do that. Yes, Shane. It was William, and I did reach out to him. Oh my gosh, his last video gave me heart palpitations. That guy takes too many unnecessary risks. But
the problem is he may be competent and able to take care of himself in those situations.
Sure.
But what happens if somebody who isn't that competent attempts to do that? It's called
personal responsibility.
I understand that. It just is one of those where you go, ooh.
And whatever. He is funny, and I saw that he's been back maybe 3 months or something. And he was away for a while, so I'm like, yeah, this is cool. He's back in Mexico. We used to watch his videos when he was here before. And when people kind of migrate out of Mexico, I tend to kind of stop watching them or don't watch them as regularly. So I was glad that he was back, and I reached out, but I haven't heard back.
We're sort of laser focused. I mean, it's like Mexico.
There you go. There's his name, Plata. Israel Plata makes amazing videos. He truly, truly does.
Yeah, we sent an invitation.
Truly.
Haven't heard. But, again, this is one of these things that this first one, we don't know what the collabs are going to come out of this. So, I don't know if KJ and Craig are listening. I haven't seen them on here, but I know Mark and Paulette are. And I know Ernie is also thinking about, coming up with, what would we like to do? What would we like to see? And if this turns out to be a big deal, 2025 or 2026, okay, maybe we can do it again.
We'll see. I mean, it's the first time we're doing this. And this was just on a whim. It was just something that grew into what it grew into. It was a couple people hanging out.
And you know what? We're seeing friends. That's all that really matters is this was an opportunity that I took because I was like, we haven't seen Ernie since we crossed the border.
That is true.
And we would not be here without Ernie getting us across the border. I mean, that's reality because that guy did not want to let us in the country. So it was one of those where it's just like, okay, this is where want to see Ernie. Stephanie was there. Julie Sheeta was going to be there. And and we knew, okay, we'll get a chance to hang with Annie, Vet, and Arlene. Didn't know Tom was going to be, but that was just like icing on the cake. And we're like, okay, this is going to be fun.
It's going to
and
be
that's
fun.
all we care about is we get to see friends.
Oh, oh gosh.
No, Rock Me Amadeus.
Yes, you were great with Informer. I did do Snow Informer. You know, si dada mi snow mi ago blame. A licky boom boom down. I can do the fast stuff. And I did sing Rock Me Amadeus.
In German.
In German. I do that stuff sometimes, or I'll sing a song in French. But the thing is it's not so much that I can do stuff like that fast or that I can do it in another language. It's just that I used to have a really good range. And when you haven't done karaoke in a long time and you suddenly go back and try to hit those songs you used to do all the time.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah. So what happened was my vocal cords were so strained. I just couldn't consistently maintain that pitch or repeat that pitch over and over again. And it would get to the point that my vocal cords just wouldn't even make noise anymore. And for 2 days, I had this scratchy fry voice thing happening. It wasn't good. It still hurts a little bit.
I sucked, but had fun. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I think we're back talking about the weather. Hi there, John, again. Overpasses aren't designed for snow, ice either. And banking and bare concrete exposed to air under. Absolutely. You know, the first thing it freezes when you get, rain even and the temperatures dip, you get that black ice and stuff on the overpasses. It's dangerous.
One of my cousins is a civic engineer that designed roadways. And he's like, could we do this correctly? Yes. Do we do this correctly? No, because they don't want to spend the money.
It's the money.
So
it's money.
It's
you can do it fast, cheap, or
my favorite saying, I was in sales for many years. Price, service, quality. Pick any two out of the three.
Pick two. Yeah.
You ain't getting all three.
Yeah.
That it doesn't happen. You get two out of the three with no problem, but you're not getting all three.
And we are making new friends.
Absolutely,
Ruby. We can't wait to meet you guys. We're really getting excited too. We are. I just put out the rotation of the on-call schedule. I better look at that.
No, you got second week. You're good. I think.
No, shit. I just thought of that. All right. Anyway, we just put out our on-call rotation schedule. So let's just hope I don't get any calls that weekend. I'm having a sinking suspicion that because the first person it's taken the very first weekend is this weekend.
You have the second weekend.
No. And then Tony's got the next week. And then Gina has the week after that, including the weekend of the 25th. Of course. All right. So there you go, guys. If I happen to get a call on the weekend for some kind of crazy thing happening in a meltdown, I may have to remove myself momentarily while I work on a ticket. Just saying. I can't. Okay. The Kinetic Connections have said that they'll start putting out videos of what I don't know. Well,
and of where?
I mean, if they're still in Mexico, it could be.
I didn't know if they returned or, it's.
No, they did return.
I know they had the baby.
And they had the baby, but I don't know if they ever left Mexico again.
I thought they went to Europe for a while.
They did, but they came back.
Oh, okay.
And then they had the baby. I just don't know if they stayed in Mexico after the baby. If they did, it could be very much like a Life and Louie situation where here we are. We're now a family of 3 with a small child in Mexico. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Mexico and Bus. Happy New Year. and Tom, I'm going to win the Chippendale dance competition in town. Oh no. Practicing my one-handed cartwheel, Baryshnikov. Oh my gosh, Tom. I just got this picture. I just got the Patrick Swayze, Chris Farley Saturday Night Live skit in my mind. Tight black pants and no tops with the bow tie.
I did that.
Oh my God, you did, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, shoot.
Used to moonlight at a bar that would do that. They had the ladies' night, and it was,
Well, it's ladies' night.
Hey,
and the feeling's right. Oh,
amazing how many tips you can make. Yeah.
You were just a piece of meat.
Yeah, but it was an expensive piece of meat.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It was filet mignon.
Oh, they had the baby in Texas. Okay. Well, maybe they're still in Texas. I don't know if they're back in Mexico. Let's see what happens. I used to like watching them. They're fun. Oh, Lord. Oh, Arlene. Oh, Arlene. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up. It is 1 minute to 9. That means we've been doing this for 3 hours, and I think 3 hours is long enough for anyone to listen to the two of us blow a lot of hot air.
Damn Skippy.
Honestly. And
our daughters would have been going, are y'all done?
Yeah, I know.
Are y'all done?
And now I'm panicking because I just realized that I'm going to be on call the weekend of the 25th. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. And I can't do anything about it because I'm the one that made the damn schedule up and presented it to the entire team. Okay.
Tidy whiteys. No. Annie, that you don't know me.
Mark doesn't do tidy whiteys.
I'm John Hamm.
Okay, in case any of you guys don't know what that means, he's El Commando.
Just,
Oh, TMI.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey, I mean,
we are about as blunt as possible here.
You ask, we answer.
They literally are like the pimple on the end of someone's nose. All right, guys. It's always great to spend time with all of you. Yes, you and Arlene as well, and Yvette. We love you all. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope that we didn't totally turn you off. And we hope that if you happen to be able to get to San Miguel for the 25th, please do come and join us.
We look forward to meeting as many smiling faces as we can.
Yep. Although I may be on call.
I'll be on cooler patrol. But other than that,
He'll be on cooler patrol. All right, guys. Thank you again, everyone. 2 weeks. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And until we see you again, thanks, guys. We'll be in touch on YouTube, WhatsApp. Absolutely, Tom. Thank you. Adios.
Yep.
Hasta luego.